Welcome to Snowmobile Sessions Live on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms. It's the #1 destination to learn about snowmobiling, network with other sledders, and have an awesome time doing it. We'll meet other snowmobilers that share your passion and show your fan photos along the way. Snowmobile Sessions Live. Enjoy the ride.
This episode of Snowmobile Sessions Live is brought to you by Energy Power Sports. They're Oakville's full-line BRP dealer with sales and service to all BRP models and so much more. Energy Power Sports always has the fun in store with a wide selection of clothing, parts, and accessories for all your power sports passions. Make Energy Power Sports your source for Can-Am off-road, ATV, and side-by-sides. Can-Am on-road Ryker and Spyder, including the sporty F3S. Sea-Doo watercraft and Switch pontoon boats. And Alumacraft fishing boats powered by Mercury Marine. Put yourself on a Manitou pontoon or a Widescape stand-up snowmobile. Energy Power Sports is the home for Lynx and Ski-Doo snowmobiles for the entire family. Do you feel the energy? Energy Power Sports, 879 Cranberry Court, Oakville, Ontario, or online, energypowersports.ca.
All right. Welcome back on Monday night. Thanks everybody in the chat for being so patient while I ended up getting unpacked and off the road. We just literally got back from Quebec. It was an awesome weekend. I'm going to share some pictures with you guys tonight. It was pretty epic. So tonight we have also from Quebec, Sebastian. How are you doing today, Sebastian from Precision EFI?
I'm doing very good. What about you?
Oh, very well. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Glad
So
you had some fun there in Quebec. Pretty nice,
yeah.
pretty nice place to ride. So,
oh, it is for sure. And we got to go up Devil's Mountain, Montagne du Diable, and I got the drone up. They gave me permission to fly the drone there, so I got some really epic shots. So
yeah, the view is amazing from there.
It is, and we were on a bluebird day, and we hit the golden hour, so we were just before sunset, and we couldn't have hit it at a better time. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, very nice place there.
Truly epic. So tell us a bit about Precision EFI and what you do.
We do performance package and kits for snowmobiles mainly. Started that business, I think, 12 or 13 years ago already, and was only doing custom engine calibration for race cars on the dyno. And then one guy once, he came and asked me, can you get a two-stroke turbocharged snowmobile to work pretty well? So I put a standalone on it. And since then, I think it's been like 15 years now, pretty much full-time working on snowmobile. It's got a passion because I don't think there's nothing faster than that, you know? So clearly love, I got addicted and never lost a target on that, you know. So I love riding also. So companies all focus on making the sleds as fast as possible. So.
Yeah, nice. And that's the thing. It's when I see you at the shows, you're at the motorcycle show because you have kits for motorcycles and Can-Am Spyders and Rykers, and then you're at the snowmobile show with your snowmobile kits. So what brands do you make performance upgrades for? Is it
I do mainly all the brands actually. We do the 998 Yamaha and Arctic Cats.
Nice.
It all started from there actually, for the reflash business, and then we jumped to the two-stroke 800cc C-Tech. We did a nice flash with that, and then we went to the 900 Ski-Doo. That has been like a very big challenge since the day one in 2018. So we learned a lot about that engine and ECU. So we kept working full time on that. Then we touched the Polaris. We mainly have covered the entire lineups of snowmobile right now on the market.
Nice. That's good. And that's the thing. How does it differentiate yourself from, say, like a Hurricane or other performance companies out there? What makes Precision EFI unique?
I think we all have different ways to see to approach the product. For sure, when I started with the 998, we decided to go with our own platform. So we do the reverse engineering of the ECU in-house. So we kind of do pretty much everything alone. So I think the growth is way slower because it's just harder at the start. But now we have CNC machines. We can have we are getting better every day manufacturing nice products. So I think the fact that we started to do our own things since day one got us to grow a little slower. But at the end, I think we're more independent right now, and it's kind of a pretty amazing part for us because we can dream, me and Emil, about a product like that intake, and now it gets out of the machine, and I can try that on the dyno. So those are things that I think differentiate us a bit on that.
Yeah, nice. That's good. Let's see who's in the chat here. We'll just take a break here and we'll have a look. But Greg Kellery says he just got in time to take the dog out. Corey Brock said Quebec was amazing. He's definitely going to head back maybe in March. Rob Overholt's in there. Good evening, Air. Brian Lynn, trails are starting to open up. He's up in the Bonfield area, he says, but slowly. The Renegade X, Rob Overholt, Pascal Tosco. We have Mike Gooley's in the house. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Skidoo 600R, all-terrain TV's in there. Who else is in there? Neil Owen. Good evening, Neil. I hope everything's going well. We had a great time, just like you estimated. Anthony Palermo's in the house. Wisco Sledheads, Uncle Buck. It goes on and on. We got a good crowd here. Robert Gilmore. Hey, Robert. Who else is in here? Goes on and on. Lots of good chat going on in the Whitetail Stable says, yippee, we're with him this weekend too. So that was great. And we're sitting in a restaurant on Friday night, and this gentleman and his girlfriend were checking out my helmet wrap, and next you know, he comes up to me and he's emailed Moto Jungle about doing helmet wraps and stuff. So we're gonna be working on Hector's wrap. So cheers, Hector's, if you're out there watching tonight. It was great to put a face to your name. So yeah, it was a fun-filled weekend. Lots of excitement. Met a lot of people, and looking forward to doing it again real soon. That's for sure. So, but what do you want to do? You want to show us some stuff around your place, Sebastian, or do you want to look at the photos? What's better, do you think? As far
I don't know. I'll just let you. I'll go with the flow.
Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, let's do some fan photos, and then we'll talk about more of your products and stuff, because there is a lot of product shots that you sent me. So I want to make sure that we get in on those, and I'll just start this billboard for Fast Track. And then we'll get right into fan photos, okay?
Fan photos are brought to you by Fast Track Snowmobile Traction. Fan photos are brought to you by Fast Track Snowmobile Traction. This season, quit sliding sideways on the ice and losing races to your buddies. A Fast Track stud kit will help you with improved braking and give you the arm-ripping acceleration you crave. I put over 3,000 clicks last season on my Renegade 850, and I'll tell you, these studs exceeded my expectations. Not one broken stud, my idle wheels still look like new, and they hooked up like I was on rails in the twisties, inspiring confidence every ride. Fast Track Top Gun kits are the highest rated stud kit at 4.9 stars with over 230 reviews. The studs are heat treated stainless, so they are strong and they don't rust. The kit is lighter, easier on the track, and has a lifetime warranty against breaking. Each kit comes with a track-specific template for complete balance with over double the scratch lines from stock templates. All listeners, when purchasing a stud kit, can get a free install kit, a $30 value. Visit fasttrack.co, add both products to the cart, and use the coupon code SNOW at the checkout. That's fasttrac.co.
All right, here's how it works. So we're just going to get into some fan photos here, and then we're going to talk more to Precision EFI. So this is Bullwinkle 2.0 sitting out front of the Airbnb that we had rented in Quebec. and he's looking fresh with his LEDs sitting there. Can you still hear me, Sebastian?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. And then this picture is pretty important. We stopped on the trail, and these are two of my buddies from high school that I rode with, and this is the first time they rode since I want to say it's the whole story with the Hans and Franz in Gravenhurst that was the last time those two rode together. And we had a blast this weekend. So it all kind of was me, Dino, and Corey starting out, and then Grant was free on the weekend, and he had reached out, and I said, why don't you come with us this weekend? And he did. So what a hoot we had.
Yeah, it's fun.
Kind of neat to ride with some old friends, right?
Yeah, always nice.
I believe this was Le Petit Train Nord trail. Does that look familiar?
Yeah, Petit Train du Nord, exactly.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. It seems to be like the connecting line for the trail systems, is like you can kind of go off of that and go almost anywhere, right?
Yeah, one thing you should go, one place you should go to ride in Quebec City, I would say, or in the area, is close of Cabanon. It's like Saint-Michel-des-Pins, Saint-Zenon, and usually like 2-3 days trip. I really like to go up to Reservoir Gouin. It's way up north, and then I do a loop, come back with Parent, and then so we can do like a 6, 7, maybe 800 kilometer in a weekend on 2 nights. So it's an amazing trip, and the trails usually once you get up north are always beautiful, So it's very nice there. Good place. I advise to go. Yeah.
And we've seen that in signs, actually, Cabanon or however you said it. So it's kind of cool. Yeah. So that was neat. It was great to get out, and here we are over the infamous bridge there, crossing into the trails.
Yep.
And this is at Mikos. We stopped here for lunch.
Place. One of my preferred place, Mikos. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice. Did you went in the spa?
No, we didn't go in the spa.
No, okay.
We just went in to have lunch and look around, and it was pretty cool. It's really a rustic lodge in there when you get into Mikos, and it was snowmobiles crazy. You can see this is just one line of maybe 4 lines of sleds that were
I'm happy to see those places full. They had a hard time with COVID and stuff, and now they can recover and have their place busy. So I'm very happy.
Oh, it's so nice to see, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and here's the rental machines that they've got all lined up. This was beside the building. I thought that was kind of cool too. You've got good quality rental machines, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Quebec really knows how to do snowmobiling right.
I never went to Ontario, so I cannot compare, to be honest. We have so many places we can go, and I still have places that I never went yet and still on my bucket list. But that's cool. Definitely. Yeah. Lots of places here. So.
And this is Devil's Mountain. This is I actually reached out a week before because it's a regional park to get authorization to fly my drone there, and they gave me written permission to do so. So I actually got the drone up. Plus I think this picture on the left is actually from the lookout tower. It's pretty darn high. That's the tower right there, which is a fairly new construction piece up on Devil's Mountain. And it's pretty wicked that you can go up there, and there's a restaurant in the little lodge that you see there.
Yes. Yeah. Very nice place. I went there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, that was, and that's so funny because my friend Dean said it was on his bucket list to go up to Devil's Mountain and see the lookout. Here's a video that my friend Grant had shot with his phone to give you an idea. Yeah. This is in the lookout. This isn't a drone shot. This is actually from that lookout. There you go. There's a top rail, and this gives you an idea how high it is, which is really cool.
Beautiful.
I love that. Yeah. And then going up there, you can see Mont Tremblant in the very background. It's something like, is it 95 kilometers away or 96 kilometers away?
Yeah. It's a far,
And you can see way off in the distance. It was really cool. We locked out on this weekend. Both days were Bluebird days, and we really, really lucked out.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Chris Watson says, "Hey, MUDBRATS, here's a few pics from La Cruz Snow Chasers. It was a slow start, but we're up and running now. We're located in the Laurentians, an hour and a half north of Montreal." That's exactly where we were. Quick question: when it comes to communicators, which would you recommend, Cardo or Uclear? I answered him. I don't have any experience with Cardo. Uclear is all I know. So, do some research and see what's best. I know Uclear worked for us, and we're happy with it. The battery lasts all day, and I can't speak about the other ones, that's for sure. So, but yeah, so thank you for sending in these pictures, Chris. Here we go. This is, you'll recognize these trails, right? That looks like good Quebec snow.
Oh yeah.
And the snow goes through the trees. That was so beautiful going up in the Laurentians. And it was like instantly when you start to climb, it looked like this. It looked like you're in a winter wonderland. Surreal almost. Jamie Chapton says, "Hey, Gary, I know I'm a little late, so no worries if you can't get them on the show tonight. Not the end of the world, but here's some pics from our trip right after Christmas to Old Forge, New York. Since then, we've haven't had any snow after the warm-up. Fingers crossed it changes this week. Keep up the good work. I've been listening and watching since season 1. I need to try and get involved in the chat. P.S. Loving those B2 Stingers I won in last year's charity auction. Thanks, Jamie." So he sent in some cool pictures from Old Forge, New York. And there he is lighting up the snow on the right. You can see how much brighter they are than the Arctic Cat lights. There they are again. So that's high up. That looks like a nice look out there too.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that MXZ. So what do you ride for a snowmobile? Do you have a performance one, or do you have a daily rider that you ride?
I pretty much have all of them, to be honest. For trail riding, I have a Maxi that I'm testing right now. We have 2 actually, so one's gonna be once is on the engine dyno right now, testing the stage 3 with a turbo upgrade, and the other one I try to break it every time. Every time I ride it, I try to destroy it to make sure it's very reliable. So I don't treat them that well. But now so far I've been beating on it for 1 season and a half. Last year has been, I think, 6,500 kilometers easy with the Maxi. So the Maxi, I really like it, and the SRX is like more of a hot rod with a stage 5 kit on it. So
wow,
I think there's a limit of how much horsepower you need in the trails, to be honest.
Yeah. What would that limit be?
It depends in the but I ride pretty fast in the trails, and I can look at usually like let's say I do a 800 kilometer ride. I'm gonna data log the entire ride, with the GPS, and I can see that I never passed 60% of throttle in the entire ride, and was like don't want to say how fast I'm going in the trails, but it's plenty fast, and I don't have the balls to go further because it's just simply too much. There's trees,
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. On the lake it's easier, but in real trail condition, I think past 300 horsepower, I think it's completely overkill. You don't need that.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Eric Charbonneau asks, when will the Stage 2R be available for the Mach Z?
Very good question. We are working on it right now. The thing is with the Stage 2R is we're pushing a little bit the envelope of the OEM fuel system. So the plan is, I already tested it. So it makes 235 horsepower on race fuel right now at 25 pounds of boost. So it's going to be more of a lake racer kit. We have a multi-map coming soon also that you can switch mapping with the brake, holding the orange bottom, the start bottom, and just flipping the brake. So you'll be able to switch modes for race fuel. And it needs to come with a fuel system because I'm running around 11.8, 11.9 to 1 air fuel ratio without the fuel system upgrade. And I would say for 500, 600 foot, it will go. But for a lake racer that will hold the thing wide open throttle for 3,000, 4,000 feet, I prefer having 11 flat to 1 air fuel ratio. So this is why I prefer releasing that kit with the fuel system upgrade. So I know with the stock injector, with the fuel system that we do, it looks like a bit like this. I have one.
Yeah, here, let me make you big here. I'm going to push you over here.
Yeah.
And I'll, there you go.
Yeah, that's a kind of a. That's a unit that we machine because in the 900 turbo, the pressure is fuel pressure is static. So that means that it doesn't move with the boost pressure. So on the Maxi, we have 58 psi base pressure. So that means that if just to do a quick mathematic, if I put 20 psi of boost in the intake manifold, that means that the injector will react like it has actually 38 psi, right? So that means that the more boost I put in the motor, the smaller the injector gets. So that's why we need to keep a balance between the boost pressure and the fuel pressure. So that kit, it's a replacement kit with a rewire system. And what it does is it still have 58 psi base pressure, right? But if you put 20 psi of boost, the fuel pressure will go to 78 psi. So that means that we keep a balance. So we have more fuel flow to be able to flow for 235 horsepower. So
wow.
And it's very important to keep also a good fuel flow in the engine, because a lot of the fuel that you inject in the motor is to cool it down. So I would say I rather always leave some horsepower on the table and be on the rich side than on the leaner side and make sometime a little more horsepower. Because definitely reliability for me is I rather have more fuel. You know, it's so that's why it's with that kit. So 2R for a long answer is gonna be probably I'm gonna be testing it. Theoretically, I'm riding it this weekend. And if things are going well also with the stage 3, I should be next week for sure full-time riding the stage 3 until the end of the winter. The thing is with that kit is the ECU on the new generation of Ski-Doo is like a real piece of art. It's
with the
amazing
eco
to work
modes
with.
and with the eco modes and the launch and everything like that, right?
Yeah, they really stepped up the game with that ECU. You know, it's the same type of ECUs that you find in high-end German cars like Mercedes and Audi, and BMW uses those ECU also. So now it's way harder to get in, but once you're in, things gets way easier, because now I just need to ask for torque, and the model of the ECU just makes what he can with the octane he has. So it's kind of you just ask torque, and he decides how he manage. So it's just the way sometimes that everything gets dialed in together that can do some funny things, but we got it figured out very well. And I need to say congrats to the Ski-Doo engineer that worked on that too. Because I can say openly that they did an amazing job mapping it, because once you understand how the ECU works and what they did with it, it gets things way easier for me to just a little bit pull more the elastic.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. And do you have the people that work on the ECUs? Are they in-house?
Yeah, everything is done in-house.
Nice.
So yeah, we have Nick is a good friend since we started with the 998, that works for us with the ECU, and he's probably the smartest person I ever met in my life, to be honest. So we enjoy a lot trying to understand properly how everything works, because we both have a passion of doing it right. So sometimes it takes a lot more effort just not to put band-aids, and because once you try to make more power with a stock ECU, you're starting to have a bunch of check engine lights, torque limits, And now we're getting pretty good, me and him, that we can just hit it with the hammer and shut off the control so it never goes, you know. But we try right now to really understand how it calculates and how it causes the errors, so we can adjust the tables properly, so we can keep the safety of the nice system that Ski-Doo built. We can keep it as operational as possible, but making more power. But at the end, it needs to be a passion, I would say, because it's like you should ask my wife how much time I can put, me and Nick, just to try to figure out everything and how much gas we need to spend on the dyno.
Oh,
And
wow.
usually, yeah, sometimes it takes a lot of time to have like little result. But once you have that little result, then it makes a snowball, and you start to understand way much more. So it gets a kind of a passion. So every time I see a new ECU, I'm always extremely excited, because I know it's going to be probably a travel or a life, my life for the 2 next years.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
usually
right.
that's the yeah. The first time you load the image, you know, it's machine code, so it's like zero ones, hexadecimal. So it's kind of at the start very complicated, but once you get to understand a little bit of how everything works, it's fun to try a table. Sometimes you do like big change because you have no clue what it does. But once you understand how it works, then you understand how everything is connected together. So you intercept the right spot in the equation, and then you get what you want. So sometimes, as I said, it takes 2 years to get there, but once you have it there, you can have more power with all the OEM safety, which I think is a no-brainer.
Yeah, and I think that's what people want, is they want their sled to still function like it did when they bought it, you know, but have
But
that
I
added
think,
power.
and on that, because since when I started Precision EFI, my job and my main focus was not to work with the OEM ECU, was to do replacement ECUs. So I did like VIPEC ECUs for 5 or 6 full years of my life, developing like replacement ECUs for 1100cc Arctic Cat and stuff.
Yeah.
And just getting them to code start was like a huge task, because, you know, in Ski-Doo, the Ski-Doo engineers, they have fridge. They have like 5 engine in a row that they can start. You know, it's like they have huge resources to be able to adjust those little things, which a guy alone like me, or it gets like so complicated. So every time it was very cold, like -30, I was always extremely nervous to see how many phone calls I would have got. My sled didn't start or whatever. And this is why I think it gets more complicated first with the OEM ECU, but at the end, I think the end results it gets like just easier as a workload. Even like the knock sensor, I never been able, like in all my years of tuning, to do a real good a knock control with a standalone ECU. It's just because like the knock frequency is calculated, it needs to be insulated. You need to program the ECU so it listens to the right frequency, like an equalizer.
Yep.
So the calibration of it are done by Bosch and Rotax in Austria. They probably have cylinder and pressure sensors to adjust everything. So I just take that, don't modify. If I add timing, I see it knocks retard. That means that someone smarter than me is telling me that it knocks. so,
That's cool.
so yeah, so it gets as I said, it's hard to get in, but once you're in, things gets way easier,
Yeah, I
way
think
easier.
you're learning their mapping and what's in each, you know, module and everything like that's got to be the trick.
Yes, and as I said, sometimes it can be tempting to just cut the pipeline that pisses you off and get you make you a hard time to make more power. But usually, always trying it'll bite you in the ass later if you
Yeah,
do that, you know. And
yeah, for sure.
yeah,
J Master 850 says, do you have anything for the 850 Ski-Doo or any two-stroke?
yes, I did, and actually work almost like a year on that project. I did a stage one Ski-Doo 850 from 2018 to 20. Okay, and it kind of, I'll be very honest, it kind of turned me off a bit because at the end, I see Josh Performance is a very good friend of mine, and he does amazing pipes. He's a genius about pipes. And he did a pipe that he sent me on the engine dyno, and that was making, I think, like 10. He claimed that it was going to make 11 horsepower, and it actually did 11 horsepower, right bang on what he said. And see, without changing the hardware and anything on the flash, I was gaining 5.
Wow.
So I say, wow, 5 horsepower. It's amazing because I didn't change nothing. And, but at the end, $499 for 5 horsepower.
Yeah.
At the end, all that work for, I know it's amazing, efficient. I all did it with an elastic on lakes. You cannot pass through it. So it's a 5 horsepower gain, but at the end, that's why I try to focus more now on the 4-stroke turbos, because I can put the same effort, make a flash, and now we're talking about 30 horsepower gain. So you're not asking yourself, do I really feel the difference? Someone that buys a Mag Z will not ask himself, did the flash go through?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Where 5 horse, you might, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much, and now that there's 2-stroke turbos, I'm starting to be a little more interested about that.
Yeah, good. Good. Well, that's the thing. Simon asked, can I run a 900 Ace naturally aspirated in sport mode with 87, even in sport mode with your tune? Will it knock?
Okay, that's a good question. For sure, with the stage 1 900, there's not many ways I can add power. Okay, so for sure the ignition curve is more aggressive, and the fact that the ECU has been designed for 87 octane, so it's been calibrated to 87 octane. For sure, the way I gain the power is by increasing the ignition angle, so I can create more cylinder pressure to make more power, right? So I would say you can run it probably on 89 or maybe 87 with octane booster. And even if you run it on 87, you won't blow your motor. You're just not gonna get the horsepower the horsepower, the extra horsepower, because the ECU will protect itself first. And second, if you do it, don't go on the lake to bang wide open throttle and hold it for 3,000 feet. But if you do a trail ride and your part throttle, it's never going to fill at 87 or 91. It depends on how aggressive you ride the sled, to be really honest. So if someone that just rides 300, 400 kilometers and just stays in the middle of the throttle, 87, 91, I don't think the ECU, the engine will see any difference because you're not loading the motor. But for sure, if you go in the handles like this all the time, I highly suggest to use the 91 for sure.
Good tips. Greg Kelly says, I think Sebastian just convinced me to forget the 850 and stick with the turbo.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I like 2 strokes, right? But a 4-stroke turbo now, it's just so more efficient. You don't have to run for oil. Anyway, the 850 E-Tech, I always had my feeling that this is the best 2-stroke on the market. I think Ski-Doo is one hell of you just start a Polaris or a Arctic Cat in a trailer when it's cold in the morning, and then you start a E-Tech, and you pretty much have your answer right there.
For
they all
sure.
have their weakness, but I think technology-wise, Ski-Doo is definitely ahead. But as I said, the 4-stroke right now, they're getting extremely efficient. And the power weight ratio we can get of them, for sure, like for off-road or off-trail, I think prefer, because I'm not a good rider, and in trails I'm pretty good, but off-road, off-trail I'm very bad. So definitely I will go for the 2-stroke, because a 4-stroke is a submarine, but in trails now, I think it's perfect 4-stroke for sure.
Yeah. Actually seeing a lot of Mach Z this weekend in Quebec. It's crazy. I don't think
Yeah,
I've
they
seen
sold
that
a
many.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone is like anonymous. And once I felt the suspension, uh, I really enjoy the machine and just the sound. By the way, if I can explain you why it makes that big sound when you release the throttle, and I think it was extremely smart from Skidoo to do it this way. Probably like the engineer that did the calibration as a boss, and the boss doesn't want to put a blow-up valve on it, so he had to find a way probably to reduce the cost. Okay, because a 900 turbo doesn't come with a blow-up valve, so it's a recirculating valve that recycle the extra pressure in the intake of the turbo to remove the surge. And what they do is when you release the gas, they keep the throttle wide open throttle, and they do an ignition cut with an ignition retard to
Yeah.
remove the surge. So the air is not going back because the throttle is stick open. So I found it so smart. It's like a Audi gear cut on a sequential gearbox that they just used on a snowmobile. So as I said, it's kind of a passion. It's a good passion for me to see all the cool features we have. I used to tune a lot of rally cars now, and I feel like we're getting close of high-end stuff right now with the Skidoo platform. So it's very fun for that. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's amazing the technology that goes into these engines and suspension and everything. It is getting into that racing car precision and engineering that you're using in these snowmobiles.
Yeah.
It's insane. I'm blown away by my 850, and I can't imagine what the turbo R's are like.
It's very fun. A nice
K,
piece.
yeah, Jim K says, are there planes to tune Yamaha side by sides? Do you know what he means by that?
Yes, it's kind of a whole product for us to get into it, for sure. And also, I have a commercial agreement with Evolution Power Sports, which are very good friends of us, and we share everything we find all together about both of our products. So I think team wise we get better. So the agreement, to be extremely straightforward, is I snowmobile. I take care of the snowmobile, and they do take care of the side by sides. So for sure, I can ask Jim why if he has intention to do it. But for sure, me, as far as we are concerned right now, is we're focusing on snowmobile, and we want to try to expand probably with Indian motorcycle, and we purchase also a Sea-Doo switch, which is the pontoon.
Yes, I seen a photo. We're going to see that photo. I can't wait to
Yeah,
talk about
but that
that.
thing, like, I think that thing will end up maybe 350 horsepower, easy. My
Wicked.
pontoon, yeah. So it's like little kits and project that we try to expand a bit. So we have a good season, not only on winter, and we can have good sales also during the summer. So we're definitely working on having new products for the summer season.
Yeah, that's great. And that's the thing. Do you find that it's the same, like, is it the same 900 that's in all the platforms, like the Ryker, the Switch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The Switch is a 1.6 liter 3-cylinder supercharged.
Yeah.
It's a 3-cylinder 1.6, as I said, and it's the same engine than the 300 horsepower RXP 300. So I know from the factory they can make easily 300 horsepower. So then I'll see how much more we can pull out of it. So we're gonna probably take one apart or buy a second-hand engine so we can put it on the engine dyno while we ride that one. So we'll see.
That's great.
Clearly, one of the first thing I want to improve on that Sea-Doo is the fuel consumption. I can't believe how much fuel it drinks. It's a gas guzzler. It's a turbine, so at the end, it's always gonna get a lot of fuel. But if we can improve on that, definitely will be the first target.
Yeah, right on. So when you put a turbo kit in the Mog set or a 4-stroke, can you still run pump gas on it? Or do you have to go to 80? Do you have to go to 91 then, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, 91 octane is the kind of the minimum. For sure, there's the thing is, if you have like a very high compression engine, you can always run low octane fuel, but you need to have low compression. Okay, or if not, you need to remove a lot of ignition angle. But by removing a lot of ignition angle so it doesn't detonate, what it creates is you create a lot of energy in the exhaust because the spark is too late. So that means that you're gonna have like a red exhaust glowing, and you're not gonna make any more power. So for sure, like even 91 octane is kind of a bare minimum. I think even if my my snow blower, I would put always 91 octane. It's just a more refined fuel. Just give less deposit. I know it's 87 is cheaper, but definitely not the fuel I want to put in a performance engine.
True.
Yeah, you need we all say like if you eat shit, you're gonna kind of not be too much in health. So I would say pretty much the same for fuel. So
yeah, true.
Yeah,
Sure, it burns cleaner, and that's great.
it's just everything. And when I do engine dyno or any dynos, I always put a microphone on the engine, and I can put it in my headphones so I can really hear like detonation. And usually it's like a little man like with a hammer on the engine, and it just snapped like that. So you have like 1, 2, and usually the third shot is like boom. So it explodes. Yeah. So, and you can see right away the difference in sound from 91 octane to 87. I would guarantee you that it makes a huge difference. Just with the noise, the internal noise of the engine. Usually, a better fuel is better. It makes just everything happier.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Good point. So, okay, Wisco, he says, not sure where to even start. Excellent weekend Friday night. Met up with Massart, Rob, and Earl. Put Marissa's ski loops on to match everything. The amazing decal package. Thanks, MUDBRATS. You rock. Well, thank you for letting me do those decals. You can see they're blue there. Everything matches the octane blue from Skidoo. I pride myself in getting my colors right. That's for sure. I work hard on it. And he said their decals are amazing. He put 25 vintage miles on, went back to the cottage and drank till 2 a.m. Saturday morning, we had a group of 9, hit the trails for 150-ish miles or smiles, he says. Could use more snow, but the trails were good for what they are right now. Amazing how you can meet people on a podcast and turn into friends. Can't thank Snowmobile Sessions enough. Brap on, see you boys in syrup country, eh? And he gives us one of those. And he said the last picture you can see, Massart couldn't handle keeping up to the VR1, so he had to take an after dinner nap. Thank Rob for the photo credit. So we're going to go through here. There's the girls. They're having a good time. Here's his vintage, and there's Massart having a nap. Yeah. Rob's probably going to get in deep trouble from Jacob, that's for sure. Throwing Spark says, does running an octane booster in any fuel really help?
Yes, it does.
It does? And
it does.
Do you have any recommendation for octane booster, or what are your thoughts on that?
It depends on what you want to achieve. Let's say I just take stage 1R. If I go tank in the trail like very far, whatever, I'm never sure I have like full 91 octane. Or even like when you go higher in the elevation, you're gonna lose RPM because the engine naturally lose power, right? So let's say you get more loaded in the clutch, pretty much like Saint-Zenon, you lose 300 RPM. So let's say you get more loaded in the clutch, then the ECU starts to detect knock, and then it goes worse and worse, and it's like a snowball creating. So octane booster, I have some here. Those work very good. So
here, let me make it big here.
Yeah.
There we go.
So those I would say I had like the issue on a 1R testing the Maxi. Okay, I just
Yeah.
put 1/3 of it for a full tank and one like 200 RPM right away on, and I see like no ignition retard at all. So that means that the Skidoo ECU will adjust the ignition timing with the noise inside the motor. So it would always give you the maximum horsepower you can with the octane he has and the load of the engine actually. So a good piece of advice. So if you see like you are in the 7,900 RPM, you can either remove weight, but you definitely gonna get better result at 81 because there's less cylinder pressure at 81. The more higher the RPM is, the least cylinder pressure it gets. So, and if not, like a very good fix, as I said, I just put like a 1/3 of a cat and it works right away. So I definitely tested it, but not enough for the 30 pounds of boost. You know, it's not making miracles. They say like from 91 octane, you get like 114 for a complete tank. Not sure. But from 91 to 98, like kind of, yeah. If I see like the way my dialogger, because we can see the cylinder, the ignition retard for each cylinders, and I can guarantee you that 1/3 of that can gets the engine quiet. So I know it
Nice.
works. But don't put the
Nice.
full tank. I don't think it's worth it. Piece of advice. So
And
yeah.
and where do you buy that? Do you order it from your website? Or is
We
it,
do have them in stock, and I think they have like a lot of distributors in North America.
yeah,
And probably I never compare against Toco, VP, but I'm sure it's all pretty much the same recipe.
yeah.
And a good knock system will tell you right away. So at the end, if you see the ECU that it protects itself, put 1/3 of it, and it's all good. But I don't think it's not like Q16 or VP high octane rated, so we can put 50 pounds of boost. It's not the goal here. So as I said, I tested a complete tank, complete can, and I didn't see I had like a 116 octane or high number, but 1/3 works very well for 20, 22 pounds of boost. Works amazing.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All Train TV says don't use octane booster in 2-strokes unless it's actually made for it. So no gas station, Lucas. What do you think about that? Is it safe to use in a 2-stroke?
It depends. It's a good question because the octane booster makes a deposit. Okay, so I would say, and it's a very good question. I would say that if you are throttle body injected, so that means that the fuel goes in the crankcase and goes up to the transfer port, I would definitely recommend to follow the advice of a smart person saying that. But if it's direct injected, it's directly injected in the combustion chamber just before the combustion happens. So I would say that you're gonna have way less deposit inside the motor just by looking at the way it is at the position of where and when it's injected. I would say that a direct injection will probably make it no problem.
Yeah, nice. Pascal, he's singing the praises. He says Precision EFI parts are probably the best quality on the market. Sebastian and his team is putting so much effort into it. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, for the parts though, I'm not the one designing any parts. It's my partner Emil. So Emil is the brain behind all the parts that we built. Is the one is the man that does that, and me, I try to make shine all the parts he does by like being the orchestra chef to tune all injectors and ignition angles and everything to make everything work. So
yeah.
so it's
Sebastian,
more a Emil job for the parts.
Yeah. And actually, Mike Gooley's hasn't Precision EFI on his 900 turbo. So he says he agrees full-heartedly. And Simon asks, any clutch kit for a 900 naturally aspirated? Do you sell clutch kits as well?
Yes, we're starting to build our own clutch weights. I don't have any here.
You've got pictures coming up. We've got pictures of those weights.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see them.
For the 900 Ace, I don't think we have like normally aspirated, to be honest. We can look into it because theoretically the 5 or 8 horsepower we give as a gain is not going to affect too much the RPM, right? Because usually like 10 horsepower will give you around 100 RPM, barely.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So if it runs 76 or if it runs 77, to be honest, the clutching, if you had like 30 horse, that's a different story. But for a normally aspirated, I think for the gain, no, I don't think. I think the clutch, the 900 Ace, and normally aspirated does a very good job on the clutch. Maybe just a good maintenance and keep the clutch clean will be my advice. But usually, like from the factory, I think Ski-Doo does a very good job with their clutch.
Yeah, good. Someone else asks, let's say I send you my Joel Prasol. Let's say I send you my ECU tomorrow for stage 1R. How long will it take to get back?
It's 48 hours.
48 hours, quick.
It's a 40. Yeah, we guarantee once you have an appointment, it's a 48-hour deal.
Great. Yeah. So you'd book an appointment first, and you'd say,
yes,
send me your ECU Friday, and then
yes,
you get
and
back.
We have a thing too is and it's kind of a good explanation, I guess, is we're not thief here. So at the end, we had an issue with the keys, the Despos from Ski-Doo, because I think they had a shortage of a chip last year, and they delivered a bunch of snowmobiles without the Despos. So the first thing we need first is confirm that the Despos is programmed, because I could have put me and my team, we could have put a lot of energy trying to find a way to bypass the Despos and stuff. But at the end, we knew that Ski-Doo were going to deliver the right thing. And I don't feel it's right to get a sled started with a magnet. So it needs to be programmed properly. So we just didn't want to put the effort to do the entire thief thing, try to find a way so we can start any sled with a magnet. At the end, we just wanted to improve the horsepower of it. So that's why first requirement, Despos. Then if you we have a confirmation that the Despos is programmed to your vehicle, then once we have the ECU, 48 hours. And
perfect.
No, and it's a very nice product. It's probably the best reflash I did so far in my life. But at the end, the ECU, the way the ECU works, kind of made it easy. So as I said, it's kind of a no-brainer, that ECU, and I'm pretty happy. I hope we're gonna have it for 5 or 6 years. So it's gonna be pretty exciting for the future.
Great. Mike Goolies wants to know what is that engine for on your right? So the one we're looking at my left of the screen, that. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
That's a 998 Yamaha engine.
Nice. It's big looking.
Yeah, and honestly, it's this thing is a horsepower factory.
Yeah.
So but it has, in my own opinion, it has a lot of weakness also, and the main problem with that engine is the head, and it's the fuse is the head gasket. So I think the little 900 turbo on my side there, I think it's a smaller motor, but it has more meat around the cylinders, and it can be a stronger motor than the 998 on reliability and big power. So everyone that thinks that a 900 will never beat a 998, be careful, because I think this one is more reliable than the 998. Yeah.
All Terrain TV says they call the 998 the big sexy.
Yeah. But the feeling of that motor, the sound, the emotion it gives, the torque, the RPM, it got everything. And as I said, I love my SRX, but I think now my heart is getting more on the Ski-Doo, because for the comfort, the suspension, the trails in the dash. I'm always lost in the trails, always.
Yeah, right? That's right.
So now I have like turn left, turn right.
Yeah,
it's kind of, Yeah. It's kind
Yeah.
of getting like things a little easier for me. I don't know if I'm getting old too, probably, but I kind of prefer the comfort and accessories and stuff. But I like the big power of that guy too, So
Yeah, that's great.
yeah.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing. What about weight? Like, there's not really much weight difference anymore between the 900, the
There's
900 and the 850, right? It sits
uh,
lower.
40
So,
pounds, I
yeah,
think.
yeah,
But there's a thing too about weight, because sometimes people only look at the actual weight of the engine and the difference. Okay, but I can give you like a short example of what I kind of experienced back in the days. I went to Cook City and I was doing Polaris 800 and 600 turbocharge, and I was doing the mapping for a bunch of guys at high elevation. And as I said before, I'm not experienced in mountain sled. I'm kind of a beginner, so I had the choice of take the 800 turbo with a 163 track, and then I had a 600 turbo with a 155 track. And everyone was comparing the weight, and that was barely noticeable, the weight difference between a 600 and an 800. But damn, guys, it was like always on top of the snow, so agile, and it's just 200 cc's. So it's not the actual weight of the engine; it's the distance between the crank and the stroke. So
right.
all the moving parts is bringing you down. So if you remove stroke, that means that you're gonna have less effect on the nose. So it's not actually the weight, it's the rotating weight that makes the entire difference. And for the horsepower difference, as I said, I'm not good on mountain sled, so I had plenty of power. So the 200 cc didn't matter too much. And actually, the 600 has usually more development from the factory than
Yeah,
the 800. So it's usually a better overall motor for the 600. Yeah. So
yeah,
weight
okay.
wise, the difference between them, I don't feel it's that much. And the power band of the 900 turbo is just insane. It's just part throttle, everything, vibration. It's just better on all point, in my own opinion.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Jay, Joel says, thanks a lot for your answers. He loves the fact you're answering questions honestly. Thanks, Sebastian.
Pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah. There's Jacob Masser and Wisco, Justin, posing for a photo. So they met through the show. They just you can see how active the chat is, and they struck up a conversation and said, let's go riding. And they're coming on my lodge sessions trip in Sudbury, Ontario in February, in less than a month. So it's going to be pretty fun. And it's great to see. And I hear it all the time. People, making friendships from this show. And that's what it's all about. So thanks for letting us know that too, guys. So more pictures from Wisco here. Nice little lineup of the sleds, the old ones and the new. There's that Blue Beauty again. Matches his Polaris really well too. Like that. A little touch of blue on both. And then Massart, Jacob says he met up with Wasco for some vintage rides and bush lights. 20 miles on the old stuff, 180 on the new. And there's a good shot of them all lined up.
Very nice.
Yeah. What was your first sled, Sebastian?
I think was I hated it. That was a F1100 2013 Arctic Cat.
Wow.
And yeah, that was, I think, a 128, and the track was like too big for the buggy, so it was ratcheting all the time. I really enjoyed the engine though, because I worked hard on those Suzuki motor were extremely strong. But at the end, as I said, I hated the sled because I had the feeling always that I had to put like anti-ratchet clips and bunch of things to get it. That was a problem from Arctic Cat. I think they just didn't measure it well, but overall it was a good sled. Like too many belts blown, and everything was always blowing on that sled. So yeah. So that was the first one I had.
Yeah, I think those Arctic Cat 1100s sounded like a tractor too, didn't they? They didn't have a good sound to them. you know?
They didn't have a good sound, but I would say they always impressed me how strong they were. I used to do, as I said, standalone ECUs for those, and
Yeah.
just putting pistons, rods, head studs, and a big fat turbo. We were able to run like 55, 56 pounds of boost in it. And I was, you were doing a season with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That 998 engine, forget it, 50 pounds of boost. It's gonna bend. The head will bend like this. It's not made
Yeah.
to this. So the Suzuki was like an indestructible motor. Not the nicest sound, but I tell you, at 10,000 RPM, they do have a nice sound.
Yeah.
And they do.
And that's the thing. They were made by Suzuki. That's right. So it was
Yes.
a really good engine.
Yeah, but a dyno destructor. I
Yeah.
destroyed two shafts on my engine dyno. Yeah, because it's a two-cylinder, but the two cylinders are running like this. So the counterweight inside, it's a very high vibration. It's like a Harley Davidson.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, very vibrating. On the engine dyno, the shaft kinds of make crazy noise with it. So yeah.
That's wild. I didn't realize they went together, not like a
Yeah.
traditional,
Hey, usually
thing.
you would expect that, but once you spin them, you say, "Wow, okay."
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if it's what makes them that strong, but I'm
Yeah.
kind of very impressed about how strong they were, those engines, for sure.
Yeah. That's cool. This is Jacob's 850. Got the yellow color change and yellow ski hoops on it. So that's really cool too. Looks great. It just gives a little change from all the black ones you see on the trail. And yeah, and this is his evening beers, he says, after the ride. A couple little shots of bush light to make your dreams sweet. There they are posing again. What do you think of the Polaris 9R? Have you done much work on those?
I didn't play with it yet. I tried the VR1 Boost probably this week. I had like maybe 10. It was still in break-in. I had a fun, but coming from the Mag Z, I found like the steering wheel so loose. So I felt like I didn't have much feeling out of it. So probably some adjustment. Power-wise, it seems to be smooth, but I felt like that was too much at start on low throttle, and then, like in tight corners, I kind of don't like to have like surprises. I thought it was like too prime, in my own opinion. I like a smooth power delivery, but overall, what they did with a turbocharge, I think it's amazing. Do I have like room to make improvement? I don't know, because we had like 91 octane and it was knocking, saying all the time, and even in break-in, knock, 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 and my guy was like riding it pretty aggressive. Okay, but I think it's probably maxed out. I'll try to see if we have like improvement that we can do on the turbo, but I feel like they've been like they had balls to release it for trail turbocharged Polaris. I lived them. I had
Yeah.
yeah, it's one hell of a challenge to get them to survive, even if it's not a high boosted machine. I think like they've done an amazing job if it survives and it lasts.
Yeah.
I would say at the end of the season, if they have a very good clean record and we know like they are solid and it really lasts, then probably during the summer I'll try banging on it. And because I've seen at Dynatech Research they did like 270 horsepower on race fuel with that motor, the little 850. So I know potential is there. I'm
Yeah.
sure the drag race 275 horsepower is pretty damn impressive on a two-stroke. So definitely race fuel map, I'll be interested to do it. But trail riding, I think the way my friends ride their sleds, I don't think there's much room left until it disintegrate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, someone asked if OEM connecting, throwing sparks. He says, do the OEM connecting rods handle high levels of boost, or do you have to replace rods as well?
that's a good question. A very good question. It depends where you do it in the power band of the engine. So let's say it's all about the cylinder pressure, right? So at 8,000, the cylinder pressure is way lower than at 4,000. If you want to bend rods, you're going to bend them in peak torque. So it's going to be 35, 4,500 RPM, very high boost. This is where you're going to bend rods. So I would say that even like the OEM Yamaha rods, I push them to 400 horsepower with the stock rods, and they don't blow. So because the peak power with the way a CVT clutch is done, I could probably on the engine dyno bend rods because I load the shit like at 4,000 RPM and I load it and I just let it go slow to 9,000. So this is where I could probably bend a rod because of the peak engine cylinder pressure. But the fact that a CVT clutch just let the RPM, the engine go right away to the peak RPM at 9,000, I think it gets a little bit easier on the engine, so we can put more boost.
Nice.
So for connecting rods, I would say that's pretty much. So if you pay, let me reverse this. If you take the same engine, same mapping, and you put it on a car with a gearbox, probably yes, you're gonna bend rods because of the peak torque, the load that you're gonna be able to apply to the engine. Definitely yes, a rod will be an asset, but for a high revving motor, I'll you push them until you blow one, and then you say, okay, I need rods.
Yeah,
This is how it works usually.
And that's the thing, you're trying to push it to that limit so that you can ensure that the quality's there when you put it out the door, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, try to make them. The thing is, I always treat the motor with respect, though. So one of the main thing that will make a big difference between a guy with a big stage that makes 10,000, 20, 30,000 miles with his sled and someone that will blow it right away is the respect you're going to have to your engine. So the more turbocharged or the more boosted engine you have, the more respect you need to be. And just like starting with a cold motor and banging on it right away, it's like every time you do that, I would probably kind of compare it to removing 1,000 kilometer of endurance on the way the engine will last. Every time you bang stupidly on it when it's cold, I would clearly remove 1,000 kilometer every time.
Wow.
So just a 900R or the 900 Ace Turbo, I think the best way to blow them is beat them when they're cold. Because they take forever to warm up. So usually I try never bang on the motor under 165 Fahrenheit or around 68 degrees Celsius. This is where I can start a dyno run, because before that I would say that the way, since like the manufacturer are getting so precise right now with their machining, the clearance are very tight in the motor. So you need to have a correct expansion before you start banging on it, because clearly you're going to damage it. And the more power you make, the more damage you make every time you do it. So clearly that's a good piece of advice for everyone.
Yeah. No, good. Jeff asks, is any delays or wait list on for a Mach Z ECU unlock?
I tell you, we had a long list and we kind of went through it. Very proud of it. So we are up and running right now. So I would say during this week, if someone calls, he has an appointment either this week or next week. And as I said, it's a 48-hour process. And we are also very confident. So we give like because clearly we need to open the ECU to do our job. That was not an easy task, but as I said, we had like people that were kind of getting worried about having us to open the ECU and stuff. But it's a silicone with paste and all stuff. So we give a lifetime warranty now. So if you have any issues, we'll fix it for free or replace the ECU.
Nice.
But as I say, it's kind of a no-brainer. If it leaves the place here and it works, it will work forever. So.
Yeah, that's good. Well, Moss, if you put that kind of guarantee on it, right? that just shows how good it is that you're willing to stand behind it with a lifetime warranty.
Yeah, it's always like a big task, and the more we get, the more mature the company gets, the more we know that you can always set up the gear to make 5 or make 5,000, and it's not the same. Now I'm thinking about even the cardboard, the plastic, the packaging, the box to put it. It takes when we order boxes now, it's like a cube full of boxes that it's something that you don't think you're gonna get there once, but now you need to think about all those little aspects to make sure everything is ready. So the bigger it gets, the more preparation you need to do. So we need to start preparing the winter season and summer to make sure that we're ready, up and running in falls. So it's a long prep. But now we have like the ECU process very, very well figured out. So definitely we can make more. We're good.
Yeah. Excellent. Simon wants to know, he said that snowmobile wrap right here, where can he buy it? He said it's crazy.
We have it on a web store.
Oh, you do? He said he can't find it on the site.
Yeah. I'll make sure it's there for tomorrow. But yes, usually we have we should have like in the marketing, or I'm not going that often, to be honest, on the website. But yeah, he's looking for a wrap.
Yeah. Well, when you put it on the website, send me a link and I'll post it up on the comments of the video here. So yeah. Eric says no more waiting for Jeff. Just call and make it go on. Right?
Yeah.
That's good.
No, and now finally we have some snow, so people get to give like a good feedback on the way everything is going, and everyone is 100% happy. So as I said, things are going very well. So
yeah, excellent. Yeah, that's great. So what are we looking at here? You got some cars in there, look like some rally cars.
Yeah, that's kind of how I started the business. So I was doing only chassis dyno tuning, and then I got into the engine dyno deal. As I said, it's been a long process. I arrived in that shop with only my backpack. I had like a backpack and a laptop, and I was supposed to rent the dyno that they had installed in that shop. And finally, I purchased the dyno, and that was on a racetrack, so that was amazing. The racetrack closed, I think, 3 years ago because of neighbors complaining about too much noise. Like pretty much. This is kind of a new model for the future, I guess. Everything cool, airport, everything will get closed, but that's another story. So I started with the race car, and as I said, I jumped into the. Anyway, I always have been passionate about engines. Whatever burns fuel, I'm kind of interested. So that was like some GTRs we do. I think that GTR you see beside the white Altezza.
Yeah,
that GTR right now is making 1,600 wheel horsepower.
Wow.
Yeah. That's kind of my record for daily driver.
Wow,
we
that's
use
insane.
I kind of closed the race car department, but project like this, it's kind of a challenge all the time. So I just can't say no. It's a pleasure for me to beat a 6-cylinder 4.1. At like close to 60 pounds of boost. It's kind of a nice, nice feeling. So kind of an adrenaline junkie anyway. So, but at that point, you're always scared. Is it the engine's going to blow, transmission, or the dyno?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
But, the dyno that's a car dyno that's sitting on.
It's a roller dyno. Yes.
So the snowmobile runs on that on rollers, right?
No, we did. I do have an engine dyno that goes directly on the crank. So I remove the primary clutch, and I measure horsepower directly at the crank. And then last year we started working on a track dyno. I'll try to post some picture in the link of the video. So we tried to use the chassis dyno that we have to make a track dyno, and we tried it with the Maxi and went very well. So we can now measure how much horsepower we do at the crank, and then how we can do the clutching and how it reacts, so we get as close as possible, because it seems like the more the years are passing, the more we need to run for snow. So I prefer having as much homework done in the shop in my comfort. It's way easier. I have the entire team here, so we can design parts and try different weights, 5 different set of weights in one day if we want, on the track dyno. So it has been extremely efficient. Yeah, so the track dyno will be a big difference for us in the future, because I think we were a little bit missing the fact that we need to give more advice on clutching with all the kits. It's very hard to get like all the different recipes connected all together, because everyone kinds of believe in his own recipes, but we want to try to get like the clutch weights pre-dialed in for every single kit, so it's going to just get easier for any customer. So at least they start like from what we started with, so then they can just fine tune. So we will get way better on that with the track dyno for sure.
Oh, right on. Jeff S says, with tune, can I retain full stock functionality of the gauge? Also,
Yes.
is there a selectable tune between eco standard and sport toggle switch, or is it all full bore?
Okay, I have a pretty good news for that. Okay, so first of all, yes, all OEM functionality are kept, like same sound, same idle, same everything. Then we found a way to add a boost gauge in the OEM cluster for all generation of cluster also. So either the big screen or the small screen. So you're gonna get for free with a Stage 1R the boost gauge and peak boost also, and then you can flip it back to coolant. So it's kind of a pretty nice integrated feature. And then we're also coming up with a multi-map that I'm gonna test this weekend. So that means that you can switch between horsepower target. We have 3 different horsepower target that would be stored in the ECU, and you can switch between them, but on every single mode you still have eco, standard, sport. So that gives you like kind of a nine different different mapping in the same OEM ECU. And for anyone that has the Stage 1R already, I would highly suggest that the way I design the file with the program is in standard. It's like when you are extremely tight between trees, so tight trails, lots of twisty corners, definitely go on standard. This is how the map has been done. And then once the trails opens up and you have more room for cornering, then click sports. And that's like the holy grail, I would say, of trawl mapping. And I have to say a big thank you to Pascal Picotte. He used to be a GP rider for MotoGP. So he did Daytona in the past, and he used to be a professional rider for Ducati and stuff. And we're releasing an update very soon with all those new features with the Stage 1R. And this is Pascal Picotte that helped me as a test rider. He says, okay, give me more at 7,000. Remove me some at 5. And he's like a little salt. Yeah. We were playing with half person there. It's just like that. I know I'm not going to touch that map. It's like the perfectual feeling that we could get, and he's so good at it. One day of work, he saves me like a month probably. He just has the feel in the butt, I would say. He feels the thing very well. So thanks again, Pascal. Yeah, I appreciate the product got better since then. So I'm very looking forward to release the new update soon. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Can you switch tunes on the fly?
No. You switch tune by you need to shut down the kill switch, because the thing is, we could probably do it, but it's hard to find a can bottom on the handles and everywhere. So that's the main concern. So what we found to switch the mapping is you close the kill switch, the red bottom clock, you hold the orange bottom, and then the dash will tell you exactly at which mode you are. and then you blip the brakes to change from 1000, 2000, 3000. So that gives you the 3 different modes. Then you release, pull, start. So it's not on the fly while riding, but and the thing is, there's with the big dash, you have like the big control joystick, whatever, but they don't
Yep.
have it. All the Ski-Doo don't have it, right? So we didn't want to use something that it only came as an option. But I know all the Ski-Doos have orange bottom and brake bottom, so that's why we
Yeah.
try to go as easy as possible so it fits everyone.
Very
That was the
clever.
main. Yeah, but as I said, there's so many different configuration, and even the boost gauge will fit in both because theoretically we didn't do anything extraordinary. We just changed the CAN message from the coolant, and we just sent boost in it. That's it. It's just a flick of a switch, and then you can put it back. We just interfere a little bit with the. Now we can get to a point that we can do some cool stuff with the ECU. Honestly, uh, yeah. Now
Very cool.
the boring part is over. We kind of figured out how it works. Now it's time to play. So we're gonna dance a bit with for the next years with that ECU for sure.
I love it. I love it. I
Yep.
just posted the wrap link up in the chat too.
Thanks, bud.
Your colleague sent it to me, so I've got that posted in the chat, and we'll put it in the comments too later. But that link that Gary just sent, the wrap in red/green, is bonkers.
And also we have one guy in the shop that does the wraps. He does all the design and stuff. So if someone has his own company and stuff, and he wants to put his own name, we're not offering too much the service. We're not like a graph company, but when someone has the intention to wear our colors, we're definitely willing to work with him to get. We're proud of it. So for sure, if we can make things better for him and suit it, we can make the extra mile. I always like to make the guy happy for this, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I love the wraps. I seen at the shows, and the Ryker wrap too is really cool. You should do well on them, that's for sure. What do you think of running a snowmobile that requires 91 with 87 and PEFI octane booster?
Clearly better than 87. That will work. And the best way to see it is always, let's say you bang on the throttle. That's the best advice I can give. Okay, if you want to judge if the engine is happy or not, definitely with the OEM ECU. I'm not talking about any other replacement ECU or what, but if you want to rely on the OEM ECU, you bang on it. If you see the RPM goes 81, 8,000, 79, 78, that means that the ECU is just keeping backing power. If you bang on it and you stays at his RPM, that means that everyone is happy.
Nice.
So that's the best advice I can give. So if you see, and the thing is, when you want to do that test, don't bang too hard. You need to roll into it, because if you break the traction, you're going to feel, okay, it goes to 81, but at the end, it's going to back off because you're going to load the traction, So at the end, it's not a right test. So you need to roll slowly in the power. And once you get the right traction and you hold it wide open, if it keeps the RPM, that means clearly. Because I tell you, the Maxi, you're going to see it right away. If he's not happy, and we are releasing also a knock light, that if the ECU backs too much ignition angle, the check engine will flash for you.
Yep.
To try to adverb, say, hey, come the fuck down. Sorry for the language, but come down, you're gonna blow it up. Yeah,
that's great. That's great. Yeah. And this, what are we looking at here? This is a rally car.
Yeah, that's. I think he won the Newfoundland with it. Newfoundland rally. So that's, as I said, that was like my specialty to do the engine calibration for rally cars and stuff. This is kind of where my background. I used to work on Eagle Talons and MR2 turbos, Supras. I used to, that's how I learned how to tune an engine. And my dad kind of started me very young. I was like 5, I think, when he bought me like a small motorbike, like a Honda 48cc or 49cc, and the engine was all apart. So he said, if you want to play with it, you need to put it back together. And it's kind of I still had little wheels on my bicycle, so I know I was kind of a kid. But he started me very young to work on cars, so it kind of got a passion for me. Engine, as I said, I don't care if it's a two-stroke, four-stroke airplane, anything. I just really enjoy engine calibration, and that's kind of got a passion because it's a mix of mechanic and a mix of electronic. You need to understand how an electronic system. You need to be good with computers also. So it's kind of a multi discipline that And the thing is, it's so fun because you always have to adjust and learn new things. So it never gets boring. It's always exciting. It's always there's always something smarter than you out there. So trying to understand and learn new things everywhere keeps it exciting. So I never got bored on my job on over 25 years of messing with engine. It's not like I
Yeah.
repair stuff. I try to break it. It's way much more fun. So I
Yeah.
try
Well,
to, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you know what? With everything else coming out new, it's not like it's the same product, the same technology. You end up on your toes, every couple of years when the new platform comes out, right? Like the Mach
Yeah.
said, the 900 Turbo. It's like, whoa, this is new. Now let's go back to the drawing board and figure out how to make it better.
Yeah, and it's kind of what helped us a lot is all the parts, the hardware that we were making already for the first generation of 900 Turbo are fitting bolt on. So we have like a I think batches of downpipe like this that we've done for the 900. I think we passed like 2,000 that we built of those. So now it's a well product that everyone is used to do. So we get like to a point that the refinement, like the way it fits, all the little bugs have been fixed on that for so many times. So as I said, the fact that it was the same chassis almost, and all the parts that we had were fitting, so we had like the chance to expand a lot the amount of different parts we do. So now we can offer a lot more accessories, and it's not always go fast parts or things that just make it like sometime more reliable. Like it's not a really exciting, but just an intake clip like this. When you get in the trail and the plastic intake split open in half, you're stuck. Definitely
Yeah.
stuck. Okay, so those little brackets, as I said, they don't make you faster, but for sure, my attitude is trying to put as much boost as I can in the little plastic intake to make power. So having those little bracket kind of give me the peace of mind. Just where you went to ride yesterday, you
Yep.
don't want to end up at the end of a rope, and it's not because the product is no good. The plastic intake has been designed to withstand 16, 17 pounds. Now we're throwing 21, 22. Uh, we can have a little help, so all those little parts, like as I said, it's not too exciting, but at the end makes a big difference on reliability. So that's why it kind of worth it. So we have like a lot more time since it's the same intake. We have
Right.
more time to develop like nice parts there, so it gets like very interesting now to see. And it's kind of a passion for me because you see like bare metal and then you see a nice part coming out, so
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
It's all about
yeah.
reliability. All Terrain TV
Yes.
wants to know, did you go to school for auto mechanic or power sports tech, or did you just learn as you went?
Good question. I started by, as I said, my dad had a garage when I was a kid, so I kind of went to an accelerated technique for car mechanics, like normal. They kind of saved me, I think, a year or so of work of studying because I had already worked with my dad's garage all my life. Then I went to a very good school that was called back in the days EFI University. That was in San Diego, and I didn't speak a word in English, to be honest. I kind of understood. I was working very hard to understand all the formulas and stuff, and that was like an amazing course for me because I've been I had like my own dyno for all a year, like 3 4 years before I went to that school. So I experienced so many things, a trial and error, and so many good people have been generous with me, giving me very good advice. But when I arrived there, that was like I had a good knowledge, but I think like I assimilate a lot of information there. So EFI University, and then I would say for the rest, I kind of learned by myself. I have Nick. I have to be honest here. I think 8 years ago, I never seen machine code, hexadecimal. Never seen that in my life. And Nick helped me so much to learn that part and try to understand what is a 8 byte, 16 byte, 32 byte, and how shit works and stuff. And now I have glasses. I spend my days in front of a computer trying to figure out a bunch of codes that doesn't make any sense at start, but once you've been looking them at them for like 2 years full time, it kind of get a little easier. And so school wise, I'm not a electronic guy, but I have a very good teacher that gives me a lot of tricks and stuff. So it's very good. By the way, that car was like that yellow car is a Audi copy of a Group B. I don't know if you have like you guys are passionate about rally cars, but if you want to look at one hell of a nice sounding 5 cylinder, go look at YouTube Audi Group B. That was
Audi Group
serious
B.
shit. Oh yeah, that was serious shit back in the days.
Nice.
That guy was a replica, and he did the Newfoundland rally too. It's like a rich guy bucket list rally car deal that you do around Nova Labrador.
Yeah.
It's a pretty impressive rally, and we won with engine that I tuned, car that I built twice or 3 times already. That rally, we won a lot of championships too for drift cars, rally cars, etc. You know. An engine is an
Nice.
engine anyway. Snowmobile car, it just needs the air, fuel, spark. Uh, don't blow.
It's that simple, is it? Like that's it. It's
It's not the same, I tell you. Air, fuel, and spark, man. It just gets easier. So that's why I was getting bored doing only engine calibration. So I kind of found my target and something that was extremely good challenge for me, and that was like hacking those ECU, man. I feel like I don't know. It's like reading a book every day. Sometimes you can read the same page 20 times, and then you finally figure out that page, and then you go to the next one. So it's a next chapter, and you learn new limits in the ECU. So it's kind
yeah,
of
for sure.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, Joel Persol says I was going. He's pretty convinced you got this Bosch ECU down, so he'll be sending you his ECU to represent my fellow Frenchman from Quebec, from an Ontario Frenchman. LOL.
Yes, sir. We'll take care of it. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it doesn't sound like it, man. You're a wealth of knowledge, that's for sure. I love these shots of the cars. It really builds what your background's like. I mean, look at this.
Hey, that car, it's a NASCAR Pinty's engine, and those are detuned V8 engines, so they should make like I think 900 horsepower, normally aspirated, but they put like restrictor plates on it, so they run like I think 550ish, 520, 530 on the engine dyno. But those things you need like to warm the oil before you get them started, and the sound, guys, it's like straight pipe V8, 8500 RPM. This is serious, like it's probably 13-to-1 compression ratio. This is a man engine, I tell you, like no substitute for cubic engine, but a big engine that cubic foot, but a big engine like this running 8,000, it's pretty good. Tell you, it's pretty impressive. Those are pretty nice.
That's awesome. So you've got computer screens that hang down, so you can actually tune it while you're sitting in the car.
Yeah, it's better because before I was putting always the laptop on the right seat, and I got like issues with my neck. So when I was going to eat with my friends, I had always to say, "Hey, sit on the left," because I was so tired of having, even when I was getting a right-handed car, a right-handed, that was like a Christmas for me because I had
You're
my
looking the
head
other
turning
way.
left. Yeah, so Emil built me. Emil, like, he has like always a smart idea to make everything. It's nothing impossible with that guy. So I asked him, "Can you do something like that rolls?" And we do like front wheel drive, rear wheel drive. So it needed to slide on the roof. So it slides like
Right on.
over 20 foot, fully adjustable. He did it once, never touched it. It works. It's very cool to work with that guy for sure.
I love
It
it.
makes things easier. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because me, guys, I tell you, I cannot even weld two parts together. Even the CNC machine, I have no clue how it works. I cannot even turn it on. I don't even know where the start button is. Everyone has his little things, but before was only I was doing wiring harnesses and installing standalone ECU and tune the thing. That was my job, and now we're kind of have a little factory of cool shit coming all the time, and it's a lot because of Emil joined the shop. Because if not, I would only be software guy. So all the parts you see, it's because of him. Maybe you should do a podcast with him. Yeah, I'm sure he has like very cool shit to say too. I tell you, he's a very
Excellent.
smart guy. Yeah,
Yeah. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
There you go, Mitsubishi. There's another little turbo that
Yeah,
good building
that's
your experience.
my financial partner, Raleigh Car. That's how I met him actually. I met him tuning his rally cars, and he said, "I would invest. I'm gonna be your dragon. I'm gonna invest on your shop." And this is because of him also that we are where we are now, because he believed in us. And now we have like it's been like a very good pleasure for him. Like he's a passionate about rally car, as I said. He's a very good rider, actually, very good driver. He always brings
Nice.
the car back in one piece, and he gives good time. So that's the principle. So he's good.
That's great.
Yeah.
I can't believe the roost that's shooting up at the back of that car, or the dirt.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing for me. A rally car, it's always a nightmare because they threw a lot of dirt and sand in my bearings of my chassis dyno, and I'm kind of a princess, so I'm always complaining, "Fuck my bearings!" Blah, blah, blah." But at the end, those guys are like, it's like I don't know, the road race. It's a different story. It's all clean, only rubbers in the wings. But the
Yeah.
rally guy, it's something else, But it's a different type of race too. I honestly, I think both type of racing you need big balls,
Yeah.
but rally cars, I think it's like a little step over. There's trees, there's everything everywhere. It's they need to be a special type of guys. It's like trail riding, snowmobile too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, snowmobilers are a different breed of guys. I think that it's pretty much the same for rally.
Yeah, for sure. Jeff S says, what is Mach Z boost stock versus stage 1R?
16. Okay, there's a thing. Very good question again. The ECU will always decide how much boost and how much timing it needs to achieve a torque target. So you need always to think this way. You don't think boost number, you think horsepower. And the ECU doesn't give a shit about horsepower, he thinks about torque. He fuels torque, he manages torque. So if you're under the torque that the driver asks, is gonna either give timing or boost. Okay, so you're gonna see around 16 pounds of boost on an OEM Mag Z. You're gonna see oscillating between 19 to 21 with the stage one. It depends always on the condition, the altitude. So the altitude, let's say atmospheric pressure, you lose around 1.5 to 2 pounds per row of 3,000 feet elevation. I hope, because the air density of the air gets reduced with the elevation, right?
Yep.
So if I lose 12, 13 kPa of absolute pressure, that means that the ECU will need to make more positive pressure to achieve the same torque than at sea level. So someone that's going to look at 3,000 feet is going to say, hey, shit, I have 21 pounds of boost, and then go down at sea level on a cold day and is going to make 18.5 to 19. What I guarantee is you're going to always get the same power, at least what he can give you. So at high
Right.
elevation, octane will be more of a good thing than at low elevation, because at high elevation you're going to need to have more positive pressure over atmospheric pressure to create the same horsepower, so more load to the motor. So the higher you go, more boost you're going to have.
Yeah, nice.
I hope like it's a good answer. Hey, by
It's
the
a
way,
great answer.
that car, it's the real Nismo. I don't know if anyone played Gran Turismo, but that was like when you ended up like finishing all the license, that was the car it gave to you. And
Nice.
yeah. That car like was Nissan factory built, was one of the nicest race car I ever seen in my life. Honestly, that was like a top. Yeah. The exhaust in the side panel. That's probably $1 million car. It probably cost. I know they built like 3 or 4 of them, but probably
Wow.
have been a program of millions of dollars. And the guy, they don't race it anymore. So the guy, like, I think he got it for, I don't know the price, but definitely one of a nice collection car.
Nice. What an honor to have you work on it.
Yeah, I didn't do much honestly, because you want to keep it as the way it was, to keep the
Yeah.
value.
Yeah.
So you don't want to try to cut wires and start redo the wheel. And anyway, I'm not any smarter than the guys that did it at the first time. So the engine didn't run well, and we found that that wasn't the fuel system that has issues. So we just fixed it, and then it went fine. So yeah,
Right on.
but that was a pretty impressive. That one was impressive, I tell you.
I can tell you're excited about it just talking
Yeah,
about it. I
but
love it.
everything that was like carbon fiber, everything. So everything on
Wow.
on that car was in carbon fiber.
Yeah, you
Everything.
can see in the fender wells here beside me
Oh yeah.
the carbon fiber in there. So, oh yeah, what a sweet ride. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
See,
Another
those are drift cars.
drifters.
Usually, it's a 2JZ GTE. It's like a Supra engine. So that's probably the engine I tune the most compared to Skidoo and stuff, because now it's more volume, right? I sell the same stage one a thousand of time, but tuning those engine were pretty nice also, because they all had different recipes to get pretty much at the end the same results. But this is a 3-liter engine making 900 horsepower. So think
Wow.
about that, like a 3 little cup of milk, split it in 6 cylinders, and you make a shitload of power with that. So, and they're very reliable because it's a 6 inline. So inline engine will always be stronger than a V engine. It's just the way it is configured. If you're interested, I can explain you why. It's like about the amount of main bearings. So let's say a 6-cylinder engine will have 7 main bearings, and a V8 will have only 5. So that means that you have a lot more clamping force on a 6-cylinder inline than on a V8 engine. That's why, like all the Cat big engines, the tractor and everything, it's all 6-cylinder inline, because you have a lot more clamping force. So that's why a 2JZ has always been something that you can beat with a jackhammer, and they just stay together. It's probably the most strong engine ever built. As I said, you can make some serious horsepower with that. Some people reach 2,000 horsepower with those engines.
Wow.
Yeah. For a 3-liter 6 cylinder, it's pretty impressive. So it has been an amazing school for me to learn. I learned to tune like different type of fuel, alcohol, different fuel with different stoichiometric ratio and different mass to see how it gains. And so, as I said, it's always a lot of fun to play with things, just pulling the elastic on everywhere, So
Yeah.
it's kind of the dyno guy job.
Yeah. Here, my son just entered the chat. He says, "Nice S14 2J power, baby." And
Yes.
Drew, did you see this one? Drew, have a look at
Yeah.
that bad boy. I don't know whether he just walked in on the chat, but
Uh,
he'll love that. He'll know
yeah,
exactly the game we're talking about.
that one was like a second level race car. As I said, the Audi Group B was something too, but that one, like the Nissan, was. And this is a good friend of mine. I still support him as much as I can. As I said, now I don't do much race car anymore because the business of snowmobile and power sport took over a lot. But he's like always a good friend that I just can't say no. We go have a good dinner, and he's a good dude. Every time we had a lot of fun while I tune his engine. So I kind of miss it actually. So it's always
Yeah,
nice to be that one more motor. So
that's sweet. Yeah.
yeah, that's stage 5 kit on the 998. That's like the
Nice.
serious, extra serious deal right there.
So stage 5 is turbo injectors. What else are we looking at here?
You have the headers, the airbox, everything we make. So it's like a complete stage 4. I got move. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's the you see the headers here. Then you have the intercooler,
Oh, here,
fuel system.
let me put you big up there. Go ahead. Now go ahead.
Yeah, that's headers right there. Okay.
Yeah, the
And by
headers.
the
Yep.
way, we sold like those headers. I think we sold over 1,500. We had one coming back for a flexible, and it's because the guy welded the slip on. We could give
Oh,
like lifetime warranty on those headers. It's crazy how much they get beaten. And as I said, guys, I saw them getting red, like badly red. I keep them like the most I can, and I never been able to blow one. So very nice piece there. Stage 5, as I said, it comes with a turbo upgrade that you just showed before. Injectors, fuel system gets you to 350 horsepower on pump gas.
wow.
20 pounds of boost, and then you have enough power with that turbo to blow the head off. So it's kind of when do you want it to blow? Because the turbo will be big enough to just lift everything.
Yeah.
So as I
Wow.
said, good piece of advice. I try to keep boost level under 30 pounds on the Yamaha engine with a conservative ignition angle. So that means we can keep them very well together. And the throttle response on this is almost as close as the OEM turbo. So we spent like big time on the cartridge to get it ball bearing. So this is an exclusive series that we have. And also you can see the inlet from the compressor, like the 90-degree on the the middle piece. It's a
Yep.
CNC machine because the steering column passed extremely close. And Emil found a way to keep the radius, to keep it like complete the size of the turbo by doing that little bend. So as I said, that's the no-brainer. But as I said, the thing is the head, the Yamaha head. We cut one in half. We cut it one in half to see why it was lifting always on cylinder number 2. And you see around the cooling chambers, there's no meat, there's no metal.
Wow. Wow.
So that's why the weakness of that motor is in the middle of the cylinder number 2. It's not the head studs lifting, it's the head that it bends.
Wow.
So we're looking right now maybe to start building billet heads.
Nice.
Yeah,
Beef.
but it's like a second level deal that it's a big investment to us to get the CNC machine to do it. And for sure, like I'm passionate, but I need to be business guy too. Yeah,
Yeah.
if it's $5,000 heads, but I feel if we fix completely the problem of the 998, 5,000, kind of worth it, but how many we would sell, it's always like the thinking you need to have before you commit to a almost $750,000 machine to be able to build that. But definitely that stage 5 trail riding, same fuel consumption than stage 4. So yeah, it's gonna be an amazing. We already had a lot last year on the trail, and now this year we have a very good production. So very happy about that.
Excellent. Looks great. You can tell it's very well quality, and I love how clean the connections are. Really nice.
Yeah, I prefer like overkill quality.
Yeah.
And be a little more expensive and sell less than get everything built in China. It's kind of it makes me extremely proud that and everyone that buys a product from us, he buys from a Canadian company that pay everyone. So it's like a business that makes the wheel spin here. We try every year to sponsor a bit the snowmobile clubs to try to get the wheel spin as much as we can, because we need the sport to go. We try to force, to have like a quiet exhaust. Those are amazing. We sold a lot of those exhausts and they're very quiet. So it's, we're not doing straight pipe kits for trails because we want to keep them open as much as possible. We want to give the extra power, but as I said, if trails are closed, business is over. So we need to work with noise reduction and be smart about it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So do you make these exhausts in-house?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, nice.
Everything is made in-house. Yes, everything.
Right on.
Yes.
Right on. And these will increase power. It's not just a sound thing. It's a
you need to be careful. The exhaust is not made. That exhaust actually hasn't been made to add power. It has been made to remove exhaust back pressure for a flash that makes more power. because because if you put the exhaust without the flash, theoretically you'll definitely run lean. The ECU on the 998 is based on the throttle base. I don't want to get too much in details, but it's an alpha N ECU. So that means that when you're wide open throttle, it just calculates throttle position angle. He has no clue about airflow and everything. So that means that if you are 100% throttle with a stock muffler and 100% throttle with a modified muffler, that means that you might get I think it was like in the 12:5 air fuel ratio, just enough to burn it down. Just enough.
Just enough.
Yeah, just enough. Yeah. Yeah, those are parts that are for the assembly of the others. So Emil tried to get them built by one runner at the time, and it's a lot of cut pieces that needs to be all perfect. So he has like a very good way to get Jedi, JD, we call him Jedi. Jedi is the welder now. Yeah, he's amazing, man. Everyone sees the welds he does. I'm so proud of him. I think he's been with us now 4 or 5 years, and I saw like the improvement on every single welds he does. It's starting to be like extremely good. So very good quality he does all the time. He's the guy like always here at 6 a.m. in the morning. A very motivated guy. So fun to
love
work
it.
with. Yeah,
really good, really nice quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
That's actually his workbench. So that's where he builds. That's his place where now we have a CNC machine sitting there. That was before. We moved a bit. Now it's getting more compact. We have too many machines, and we're maybe planning to get a bigger place. But for now, it's very efficient for us to be here. So we try to maximize every square foot in that shop as much as we can. Yeah.
Do you when you manufacture things like the exhausts or whatever, do you do kind of everything at once, or do you do, hey, we're going to run exhaust now for January, and February we're going to do this part, and March we're doing this part, or how does
it depends? That's a good question. It depends on how, because usually I can be on the engine dyno, okay, and I'm gonna pull the elastic until I see that we need to upgrade on the hardware parts. Let's say like stage 1R. Stage 1R, I pressed the envelope until I felt it was safe to release stage 1R OEM flash. We do it this way, okay? Then I know and I need to do the fuel system upgrade because that's the next step. I need to upgrade the OEM fuel system. So what I'll do is I'll install the fuel system on the engine dyno, make the proper calibration, and then I'll get 3 to 5 guys to run with the sled for around 1,000 kilometers all together, and I record everything, get the datas. If everything looks all right, then production, and we can add that product on the network as for sale. We can be way faster right now because it's the same fuel system that we've been selling since 2019 or so. So it's a well-proven part, so we can step up and sell right away the product. Usually, as I said, I try to have one sled with the entire shebang on it, everything we made, and then I try to make the smallest stages after. It's always better to start with the big one and then go down
Yeah.
in stages because on research and development, you got a better product. So let's say like we started with the 998, we went right away with the stage 3, 280 horsepower. And then we said, okay, 280 is too much for Mr. Everyone, or people will want something in between. So we decided to do a 250, a 230, and then
Right.
so on. So it's always like just better to go max out right away.
Yeah, that's cool. Look at
Yeah,
this
that's
header.
by the way, yeah, the others that is one of my good friend and customers. I think it has like 30 or 40,000 kilometers, but serious beating. Every time he
Wow.
gets on his sled, that guy, I tell you guys, he's on a mission. He's clearly on a mission. So it's like a no mercy. All the hardware parts, like the tunnel, the brace we do for the tunnel and stuff
Yeah.
to keep them together, is the one that's, hey guys, you should build that because he bent tunnel, he destroy everything on his 998 all the time. So he's a serious rider. So as I said, he's been moving that headers from machine to machine, and we still put it again. And so that's why I'm
Yeah.
very proud of the quality because they're hard. Those headers, honestly, they get so hot and so long. They are long too. So I think the key why we don't have issues with them, first is the quality of the weldings, and second is the slip-on because
Yeah.
the tubes can expand and retract. And that's something we had a lot of issues with the stage 3 on the 900 Ace. It gets so hot in there, guys, that even the best welder I know, which are in my shop, we weren't able to keep that manifold together, and that's why we went with a cast iron, cast stainless manifold. Now it's like impossible that it can blow because you cannot weld apart on the 900 muffler. On the 900 headers cannot be welded. I don't think it's gonna
No.
last. No, with
Wow.
the bumps and everything, that has been a big. You cannot put like a slip on also with a 900 because it's very compact. So that's why we went cast now. So the cast manifold cannot crack or anything, and we got even Inconel studs to hold the turbo in place, specially machined for that kit. So Inconel is
Wow.
like the material they use like to hold like the ceramic on the NASA when they get
Yeah.
back in the atmosphere, all the fire. So it's like the metal on Earth that can withstand the most heat because we had even studs getting longer with the
Wow. From the
heat.
heat.
Yeah, just the weight of the turbo was too much. So we learned a lot there. Uh,
Wow.
and if you keep it wide open throttle for miles, because this is how I tested the product, no problem. If you cruise slow, this is where the EGT gets the highest. This is where you blew it. So now we
Wow.
know. So yeah, we learn a lot. Learn every day, all the time. So
That's crazy. That's neat to hear.
yeah. Need to
Yeah.
do mistakes sometime too, also to be better as a team. So That's the thing too that helps a lot on detonation is the oil separator kit on the 900. That part is very handy because oil
we're going,
is
here. We're going up
yeah,
over
you
here now.
cannot compress oil. Yeah, it's right there. That's how it fits. So as I said, you the crankcase ventilation on the 900 is kind of a it does work, but it gets a lot of oil in the charge tubes. So by having all that oil in the charge tube, that means that you have air, oil, and fuel going in the motor. With that oil separator, helps us to put more ignition timing because of that, because you just have no oil fume going in the combustion of the motor. And I don't know if you guys, I'm sure like someone listening now have a lot of mile on the 900, and without this, you're gonna see a lot of oil in the bottom of the belly pan. It gets all oily. So if you buy a brand new machine and you want to try to keep it as clean as possible, I would say that one of the first purchase to do is that oil separator kit because it just keeps the damn thing clean. I like to look inside my intercooler piping and see no oil at all. It just like cleans everything. And usually you start having issues when you throw a lot of oil in that silicone. The silicone gets weaker and starts losing boost everywhere. And then the guys say, hey, shit, I don't have any power. I get beaten by 850. Oh, yeah, but you're throwing boost everywhere in your hood, dude. So just go with a screwdriver and go around and make sure at least you're throwing that boost inside the motor. It's going to help a little bit. But as I said, on someone that wants to keep his machine, I highly suggest. I didn't believe it that much at first when Emil said, "Hey, we're gonna do a oil catch can." I said, "Well, okay." And then once I see the end results, I'm the first one to say, "Now, hey, we need that." You know, it's a very smart way. And we kind of dyno the thing too, so it's pretty cool the way we dyno this with like a coffee machine boiling oil with pulsation, trying to see the best design of it. So the guys are pretty smart doing stuff. So
That's
it's very
insane.
nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have
And
you
you can
ever?
also, sorry, I didn't want to cut you,
No,
but
go ahead. Yep. No,
uh,
go ahead.
all the fittings and the hose we use, it's all crimped. So we buy a
Yep.
very high quality crimper, like the brake hose and everything. So it's like you don't want to have, as I said, you don't want to have oil, and it locates very close of the exhaust. You don't want to have a leak of oil there, so you can set the thing on fire. So that's why like everything is crimped perfectly, the right direction. So it's a real bolt-on. So that's why I like it. Usually I try to install myself those parts in my race trailer, and I need to be able to install it with like a Canadian Tire little box. It needs to be easy. And sometimes I call and say, why the fuck it's not written in the instruction? God damn it,
And that was
So
my question. My question was going to be: is this something a do-it-yourselfer can install? Like when they order a kit from your website, can it arrive and they bolt it on themselves, or?
yes, we have a lot of customers doing that, and we also have customers that deals with our dealer network. I think we have close of 200 dealers now worldwide, and those people do the installation for the customers. So we try to refer also to, if someone calls for information, then we're gonna ask the zip code of the customer and probably refer him to one of the good guys, because sometimes I can have like 2, 3 dealers in the same area, but one of them will be specialist more in skidoo, one of them will be more a 998 Yamaha. One of them will be a two-stroke guy. So we start to know our network now. So Kevin and Eric, like they're the two guys right now on the phone answering customers. They try to always refer the customer to the right dealer. That I know it's if the guy prefers to work on skidoo, we'll try to send them like all the skidoo guys there. So yeah,
that makes total sense. Smart.
yes.
Trying to get this back up full screen again, but And then we've got the flash tool here.
Yeah, that's a big decision we took. I would say back in 2016, and that kind of changed a bit the course of the shop here, because you have always the figuring out how to hack the ECU and find out to make horsepower, and then you need to have a distribution. And usually, as I said, I don't want to. I'm here to talk about my company, not my competitors, right? But
Yep.
I decided to do my own thing, and all the royalty I should have paid to someone that supplied it to us. Theoretically, I've been able to invest it in hardware and equipment to build our own parts. At the end, I don't think I make more money than anyone, but I've been able to invest more on the equipment, so that just make Precision EFI a little better on hardware and stuff, because we can do our own parts in house, and that's one of the thing. And I know that Flash Tool has been a big target at first to do our own platform credit and stuff, but now we are up and running that you can buy a flash online and it downloads right away. It's fully automated, so it gets very efficient. And we have one guy full time that is managing website, web store, the Flash tool. So now I can arrive and say, okay, here's the script to write into the Max ECU, and he makes a nice user interface for customer with the little green light going. So we're right now like in top shape with that. Adding new feature gets so easier now because it's not a subcontractor doing it for us. It's the guy that has been working on that flash tool for 5 years that does it. So it's always everything gets faster now. Since the business gets older, I try to keep all the same employees all the time. So everyone gets used to their own department, and we get way much more efficient with that. So very happy about the decision we took back in the days. We had other options, and we decided just to do our own. And I can guarantee you, sometime I really regretted it because I felt like I was working so hard, and I was the new kid on the block, starting my business with guys already implemented for years in the market. So I was reading all the time, I don't know, don't go with those guys, go sure, go safe. But now we're starting to be more, we took our place of the market, and pretty happy with that. And as I said, the Flash tool has been a big help for us because it just helps the future. We're going to replace that Flash tool with a mobile app. That's going to probably be, we're releasing it next year with a nice dialoguer. It's going to be, let's say you get beaten without the launch control on the lake. If you have internet LTE, you're going to say, okay, I'm buying the launch control now, and it can download right away. Full online store. Yeah, we want to try to give also good tooling to adjust the snowmobile. So a good dialoguer, some nice feature for extra horsepower also that we're gonna have. So
yes, would you be able to push software updates through that app as well then?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, nice.
Absolutely, yes.
Nice.
Yes. But I try as much as possible to try. There's always room for improvement. Okay. But and nothing is perfect. But I always try to get as close of perfection as possible on the first time. So that's why you're never gonna see me releasing 27 version of the same flash. I really try to get it done the first time, and sometimes take a season. So I'm always like a season before. So I was testing the stage 1R last year to be able to release it this year. So at the end, once you get more mature, I would say, and I try to be extremely patient when it's time to release a product, and we learn from our mistakes. Sometimes we release like product too quick, and this is a mistake that we take as a team, and we're never gonna do it again. As long as we take care of everyone, and if we do mistake, we fix them. But at the end, I try to be a lot more patient now, and that's why it gives we have a lot more time under our belt now, so things are getting good.
Right, right.
That's a nice fuel system for the 998. It can even work with the OEM sled unmodified. And the way that we build the scavenge, again, it's Emil that did the the scavenge deal, and he had the idea. So
Yeah,
you can go very low in the fuel tank, and you're gonna keep the basket of fuel full,
yeah,
because there's like two strainer in the back of the tank, right? And
yeah.
with that fuel system, you can remove completely one strainer out of the fuel in the tank, and you still have full fuel pressure. So it's for someone that tried to get the last sip of gas, even if it's a better fuel system also for big power. But even like if you want to try to get, as I said, the last sip of gas in that tank, that fuel system is a no-brainer. It's extremely well done, and a nice bolt on also. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the thing. When I met you at the your company at the show, I checked out the website, and I can't believe all the products you have. Like, it's not just a
yeah,
turbo kit. You know what I mean? There's so many different products on your website. It's worth checking out.
yeah.
And that's
That's a cool exhaust. We did titanium on a Lamborghini Hurricane Aventador, like $1 million car. And the
wow.
guy, yeah, I think it costed like 20 grand. But the guy has his little plate CNC machine in titanium.
Love it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's that's that the sound of that thing. That was like the V12 engine. So pretty neat sound too with that exhaust for sure.
Very cool.
Yeah. No, but people can
Very,
see. Yeah, you see, like
very.
it was like almost fitting. Yeah,
I
and you see
love
the
the heat.
quality of what we can do. So
Yeah,
sky's the
yeah.
limit. Yeah.
Oh, I love how he did the heat finish on the
Yes.
pipe. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
he rented a big torch at like Lutech, whatever, and he was like burning it and looking at it. Okay, a little more blue there. Yeah,
That's
Emil is an
awesome.
artist, man. They
That is
JD,
cool.
yeah, Jedi and Emil did that together. Yeah, it took almost like 3 4 days full time of work. Two guys. It's mainly Jedi that did
Yeah,
the welds and stuff. But the plates and all the design, and it's all 3D drawn now. And we kind of just before Christmas we got a very good 3D scanner. Um, I'm kind of the owner, so I try not to don't spend too much money. But we went for a very good tool. We bought like a very good 3D scanner, so that
nice.
will jump up the game again. That will help a lot Emil to design nicer parts, because now he can scan the environment. So that's gonna help him a lot to do cool drawings and stuff. So see, like that intake will be a replacement billet intake replacement for the 900.
Yeah. Wow.
Because like I don't know if you see it. Eric,
It can
if you
put you
see the
over there.
difference, zoom there. So you're gonna see like the difference in just the size of the runners.
Wow.
See like how
Yeah.
tiny it is and now
Yeah.
big. So I know
Yeah.
the way to make good power with the 900 will be to improve his capacity of moving air from point A to point B. So it's all about airflow. If we
Yeah.
want to make it reliable, it's not by putting 50 pounds of boost in it, it's by improving his airflow, natural airflow. So I think pieces like this, I tried a straight pipe exhaust, didn't win even 1 horsepower. So it's not on the exhaust side that you're gonna make more power on the 900. Period. It's on the intake. So we
It's
need to
on the
get more air going in there. So that's
wow.
why we try to work on that one. And the 900 is kind of very sensible on the octane. So we're working right now, me and Nick, on water injection system, but that will be controlled by the OEM ECU, and that's kind of fresh. The
That's
ECU
neat.
will be, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the OEM ECU that's gonna control how much water. We found a way to drive a driver with the OEM ECU. So I'm going to be testing that with the stage 3. So imagine like you have like the OEM ECU that controls everything. So if you have issue with water flow, it cuts boost right away and tells you in the dash. So we can make like a pretty damn nice integration. And I think that's, we only need like a 50 more horsepower in the Maxi, and I think that will be like the ultimate trail sled for me. But I
Right
think
on.
220 is not enough yet. I clearly want more. I want to be scared when I push that throttle wide open. Now uh, it's not scary enough. I want
That's
more.
awesome.
Anyway, I'm planning to try. I'm working hard to make more power. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is out the end. Wow, look at that finishing on there.
Yeah, and that was CNC machine, the tip. Emil designed everything out of the CNC, and he kind of followed the logos, yeah, he's very good.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
There's
Yeah,
your
those are
little,
the brackets.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, excellent.
No,
Top
and as
exhausted.
I said, if they make it, if it's more reliable and it's not too expensive, so it does make a difference to try to keep everything together, because I have like a couple of customers on very cold days. They split that thing open, so it's kind of very bad. You're definitely stuck in the wood with that. You end up at the end of a rope for sure. And
Yeah,
see a stock 150 HP, I think was running around 10 pounds of boost.
yeah,
Now a stock 900 runs 16. So we're just getting higher in air pressure, but it's the same damn intake manifold than before. So theoretically, shit's gonna hit the fan no matter what, one day or the other. So I rather just put the brackets there, because we know
yeah,
it's a weakness there for sure.
yeah. And they look so darn good too.
Yeah, yeah. You add weight to the sled though. I kind of
Yeah.
freak out about adding shit to a machine. I want to remove shit to get it faster.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's a
but at
balance
the
there though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. If it makes it reliable, I keep it there. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
I
those are
was
the
looking at
weights.
the your
Yeah.
clutch weights. Look at how
Yeah.
beefy those are. That's amazing.
It's not that beefy. It's pretty much the same profile than stock. I would say a little more aggressive. We have like two different base weight now that we're working on. For sure, like the heavier will go with the Maxi and the Stage 3. We need more room because I'm clearly planning to make definitely more power. Right now, like just as a heads up, I ran like 260 horsepower on pump gas with the stage 3 on the engine dyno. This is not going to be released this way because boost was like at 24 pounds at 8,400 RPM. So I was kind of aggressive on the file, but this is my personal engine, so I can do whatever I want with it. So
Yeah.
I'm playing a lot right now, but I know the potential will be there. I think there's a 10 to 15 horsepower maybe in that intake manifold. So as I said, if I can reach the 250 on pump gas with low boost number, so then we can kick in the water mat and we can go to 25, 26 pounds, because I know the engine can last and handle it no problem. I have even one of my friend with the stage 3, Pascal Picot, that I told you before. He ran like I think 35 pounds of boost on Q16 with the stock motor, no head studs, no nothing. Never you would do that with the 998. It will blow in pieces.
Right,
So as
right.
I said, the 900 Ace makes less power, but it's a stronger motor. So I
Yeah.
kind of like, I was kind of disappointed the first time I saw the dyno numbers. I said, hey, is it broken? 150 horsepower. What the hell? What were they thinking? It's like a water gun. What the hell? And
Is that
now
on
I
the Mach
know.
Z? Is that on the Mach you're
Yeah,
talking?
just the
Yeah.
first. It's the same motor anyway. It's
Yeah.
like the 900 Ace standard. But now
Yeah.
that I see the track record of them, and we ran 260 kilometers with a 900 Ace, and people were saying cylinders are out of round. Yes, that's true. Still
Yeah.
put 30 pounds of boost, still work. I tell you, they are very, very, very good motor. I bang like extremely hard on it. And as I said, as to indoor beating, I guarantee you the 900 is stronger. I
Yeah, nice.
totally, yeah. So those are the
Uh,
weights before they go to the zinc plate and then get
Oh,
laser
okay.
edge
Yep.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
cool.
my wife putting all the little. My wife does all the packaging, so she pack everything with love. Put the little screws and yeah,
You got the Allen
small team.
key nested in there, like it's clipped right in. I love
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah, the
Yeah, very
bushings are made in the lathe too. We have a CNC lathe, so we do the bushing in house too.
nice.
Everything, and even the mill bought like a really expensive scales so we can balance them, so they're balanced as a set. So we, because there, with even if you have a very good machining, CNC and stuff, there is always a difference between the weights.
Yeah.
When you measure them extremely precisely at 2 digits after the dot, we can see like there's a difference. So they are matched as a set. So we take the extra care to make sure that the three weights that you buy from us are the closest as possible. But for sure, if you put it on the Starfrit scale, they're all gonna look the same.
Yeah, that's
But us, we
right.
know, so
You're
we try, as I said, we try to do the extra mile to make sure that the shit is as close as possible of perfection. As I said, if we do mistake, we'll fix it, and that's it. We learn from it, put it in experience drawer, and go forward, and that's it. This is how
yeah.
it works. So
So
yeah.
you're telling me you didn't steal your grandma's, your mother's weigh scale to do
No,
the
I went to Walmart just for the thriller one, just to make sure I know how much weight I put in it. But now, as I said, I don't need a scale. I need a dial logger. So the
yeah.
dial logger tells me how much weight I need to put in there, and that's it. You see engine RPM, target RPM, and as I said, usually it's a gram of weight per 100 RPM. So if I'm running 92, want to rev 9, just put 2 grams. And one good piece of advice I can give to everyone is don't screw the weight to the end of the weight. I always try to put the weight as close as possible of the start of the thread, because it's just like uh, you're gonna feel like you're pulling a trailer. It's gonna be very hard to pull the weight if it's at the end of the weight. It's gonna be extremely hard to pull the RPM. You're gonna have a lag, so you better put more weight, but flush of the threads, so it's closer of the pivot. So it will give you a better and more efficient way to control your clutch. Piece of
Right
advice
on.
there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
advice. Excellent
Yes.
advice.
Yes. So that's
So,
another view of the stage 5 turbo upgrade. So you see, like it's as I said, we use the only thing that we use that we keep is the exhaust side that we
yeah.
machined, but everything else is new out of it.
Oh,
So it's
sweet.
kind of I wanted to build the holy grail of turbo upgrade stock location. I don't think we have like one on my sled right now that the wheel is definitely way bigger. I want to see if it pays off. But as I
Yeah.
said, the limit of that motor is clearly the head. It's not the turbo. That turbo now maxed it up pretty well. So it's
Yeah.
more about,
Sweet.
head gasket.
Yeah. And so when you test a product, you do one complete season, or do you go longer if it's something that requires more tweaking?
It depends, and depends of what. Let's say I start with, let's say I go okay, so we had like a request, a lot of requests, let's say for the 998, for high horsepower, the highest horsepower we can make with stock muffler. Okay.
Yeah.
So since I went to 280 horsepower and I am at 300 with the 3R and 320 with the stage 4, for us going down on horsepower, it's kind of my exposure. I'm not too exposed. I don't know if you understand, but the risk level, it gets lower because theoretically, so what we do usually is we're gonna put tapes around to see like how hot the exhaust gets.
Yeah.
And once we know pretty much on a warm day, -1, -2, +3, +4, because that's where shit's gonna hit the fan. It's when it's warm. Anyone that has a stock exhaust that gets bang in it, theoretically is gonna end up with a panel in his hand because it's gonna melt. So yeah, so I rather just make 250,
Yeah.
250 with a rich air fuel mixture. So I know when it's warm outside, we're gonna keep the sled together. Okay. And one other piece of advice also is always under a 998, any Yamaha or Arctic Cat. If you do a oil change or you remove the muffler, remove the foam under the muffler on the belly pan, remove that because that's a nice thing. It's a sponge for all the oil. And usually,
Yeah.
if you get this thing in fire, it comes from that foam. So remove
Oh,
this thing.
wow.
Yeah. One of the main thing why people burn 998s, it's because of that foam. So remove that because you have the chain case. Arctic Cat are not the best chain case out there, so they bleed from everywhere all the time. And one other thing too, to don't get your sled on fire is that easy oil change kit because you don't do a mess. I think this is something that I find so stupid. Probably Arctic Cat saved maybe $5 per sled because they didn't think about putting a drain plug. So every time you want to change the oil on your sled, you need to make a mess, which I think it's completely stupid. You sell a sled 26 grand or 25 grand, and you cannot put a drain plug. That kind of
Wow.
makes me funny. Yeah, it makes me laugh a lot. So this is like you just it's you just connect. I have one like in the red cap.
Yep. It's a
So you
tap, is
just
it? Is it, is
no,
it,
it's
is it?
I'll show you inside. It's pretty well done. Uh, so it's like a tap like this, okay, and you
Yeah.
got the hose like this. So you just click like this,
Oh,
and
and then
then
it's ready to flow out.
yeah. You just spin it. Once you spin it, then you remove it, put the cap back, put the screw in, and you're done. So
Nice.
that's how you change the oil. Yeah, it's like as I said, it's not a go fast part, uh, but it's very smart the way Emil done it, and definitely makes a big difference. And at least you're not making a mess in the sled. And also, we're releasing a very nice kit for the chain case upgrade that probably will fix all the problem of the 998 on the chain case. And Emil did like a nice billet fork for it's gonna be pretty fresh. That's kind of
Yeah.
the no-brainer. You put that, you have no issues with chain case anymore. So as I said, the more time we have with the shop and the more experience we get, the more we can make like nice little product that we don't have like the restriction of having a huge production of 10,000. If I sell only 200 or 300 chain case upgrade, I don't care as
Yeah.
long as we sell them all. At the end. So I don't need to have a huge production, so we can keep quality very high. So at least we fix the problem with that. So clearly the chain case problem will be completely fixed with that new piece that we're releasing now. So it's going to be very
Dan,
nice.
Dan Skovic said the easy oil change is brilliant.
Thank you. It's not me though, it's Emil.
It, it's that's the thing. When I looked at your website, it was little parts like that I thought, how cool. Like there's so much neat stuff that all goes to the betterment of the snowmobile that you have on your website. So that's excellent.
Yeah, well, as I said, we'll just keep getting better, I think. We have a bunch of things. Now we want to address suspension. A lot of things about the geometry that I think could be improved. And the thing is, I think a snowmobile manufacturer needs to deliver something right in the middle. So it's not too aggressive, it's comfortable, but I think we can make a lot more adjustment for someone that, let's say, a lake racer, that for him, GPS speed is extremely important. Then we can make wheels kits. We can start improving drivers, 10 tooth, 11 tooth drivers, and
Nice.
maybe planning to do a billet chain case for the skidoo. so we can have more room from the drivers to the tunnel. So we're gonna be able to put bigger pins. So as I said, bunch of things that are coming in the pipeline that will be extremely interesting from our part for the ski-doos, for the
Very
snowmobiles.
cool. Very cool. There's the exhaust again. Look at that.
That's the exhaust with stock looking. So that means that you can put all the stock heat shields. And the thing is, we did like 4 chambers. So there's 3 chambers to remove the sound of it. The only thing you're gonna see is while trail riding past like 35, 4,500 RPM, I don't think that muffler makes more noise than the stock. Because I'm pretty sensible with that. But once it gets at idle, this is where you're gonna feel like a tiny drone, and it's because the ECU is kind of a 998. What it does is when it idles at like 1,500 RPM, it's running 5 degrees of ignition angle. So that means that they put a lot of air in the engine, and then they remove torque by backing off the ignition timing. But as I said before, is when you back off ignition timing, you put a lot of energy in the exhaust, and that's why it gets like that drone. You just amplify the sound of the exhaust by putting a lot of ignition timing. I try to remove ignition angle to remove the noise at idle, to add like ignition angle, but the idle was like rev hanging. It was idling too bad, and too many issues with that, so I backed off the idea. And at the end, I don't idle too much, I just ride the thing. So and as I said, everyone is very happy with those exhausts. They're good to 320, 350 horsepower. Then we need to go 3-inch.
Right on.
Start to get a restriction, yes.
Yeah, looks great.
Yeah, that's a throttle brace that again Emil designed. This is because we had a lot of issue with the Ski-Doo popping the throttle off. I can show you on a 900. Show that to you. If you zoom in there, it's only a silicone hose that holds the throttle body together right here. Okay. You see like the little silicone. So that brace comes to squeeze in the intake and then holds the throttle body in place. Because as I said, if you lose that during a trail ride, you need to remove the fuel tank to go tight that little radiator clamp back. So I think this is because that intake is done from the 90 horsepower 900 Ace. So I don't think it has been designed for a turbo. And the thing is probably designing an intake manifold for Ski-Doo is probably $30 million just making the molds to do this. So they rather deal with the idea of having it, put a little more boost to make the power, and at least it's more cost efficient. Because if they were, I'm sure if Ski-Doo was doing what they wanted, the sled will probably cost $35,000, and they would not sell any. So they need to keep the cost low, and so that's why we're there to improve little weakness that we see. We can improve with little parts like this, which is again, it's not a go fast part. It's a good part for reliability.
Yeah, keep the sled held together, right?
Yeah. Just come back from the ride. You love your sled a lot more when you're never stuck with it. Okay, at the price it costs, it needs to be fun.
It's
at the
true.
end, I'm doing snowmobile. I use the muff for my hands. I hate to be cold. I want a good gear on me. If I'm cold, I don't go. I don't enjoy. I just want to have fun with my friends. Ride. I do probably 10,000 kilometers a year of trail riding all the time.
Nice, that's a lot.
Yeah. And 10,000 kilometers of trying to break it. I tell you. It's very hard.
Well, you've got the trails, and you've got the trails in your area to do it, to ride hard.
Yes,
that's for sure.
Yeah, actually, yeah. It's a lot of corners though. Close of the shop, it's more big lands. So it's a big straight 90 degree, big straight
Yeah,
90
yeah,
degree. I find it so boring here. You need to go across a boulevard.
yeah.
Wait, no cars, you go. I don't like to ride too much over here, but close of, as I said, Lac Toro and those places, very nice place to ride. This is a
Nice.
very good image. That's the 3R airbox that we did for the 998. And I'm sure a lot of people will not believe that, but we tried on the engine dyno. That has like an expansion chamber, okay? And it's like airflow dynamics, right? So it has a big expansion chamber with a velocity stack inside that we all machine on the CNC. And by that, we can improve the airspeed. And that airbox makes 8 horsepower more than just a 90-degree elbow with the same filter. You just make
Yeah.
90-degree elbow and put the air filter. It's 8 horsepower difference with that airbox right there. So it pays a
Wow.
lot. Yes.
Wow.
Thank you. Yeah.
You really do your homework. That's for sure.
Engine Dyno gives us a lot of answers, so we can know what pays, what doesn't.
Yeah.
So it all starts from there, cannot start lying to ourselves, because before we start investing on developing a product, we need to make sure that the results will be there. So it's like and sometimes it's kind of hard because customer will try to take one intake, one part from there, one part from there, and then they call for tech support and we say, "Them, did you take the entire kit?" No, I have this, I have that, and your flash is no good. It's not always this way, but we learn as much as we can now, and try to give the best advice all the time. But sometimes it gets frustrating, but. This is
Yeah.
how it works. Yeah.
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 What's this part?
That comes with the easy oil change.
Oh, is it? Okay,
So that's
perfect.
that's the spread inside. Yeah.
Oh, I
So
gotcha.
yeah. Hey, we sold a lot of those.
Oh, I
Everyone
bet.
is anonymous. It's a very good purchase. That
Yeah.
that yeah.
That's probably like
Definitely.
something at a trade show people pick up like a chocolate bar, right?
Yeah, but now at trade shows we try only to bring one of everything. I think the more the business got big, the more I was exposing myself with a lot of inventory in my trailer. So if I get stolen, I get into big trouble. It's not about money; it's about rebuilding everything, and you never know how much you're gonna sell of each. So now it's like the new way we're gonna do this is we're gonna say, okay, free shipping. If you order during the show, ship it for free. So at least I don't need to bring too many parts with me that I can get stolen. My trailer burns, anything. I said
Yeah.
I just rather just don't take. I rather pay the shipping and don't take the risk, so my
Ex-
exposure stays low, and it's easier too. So I can put more machines. One part of everything is enough, as long as you can take it in your hands, see how it's done.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
one of the thing. You're gonna see the one in the trade show. It's not one that we choose that was the nicest, because they're all the same. You buy an
Yeah. Nice.
intercooler from us, you see the welds, they're all the same.
Nice.
So yeah, it's kind of a standard. Pretty proud of this for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Dan asked a question if this intake here, will it work with the brace?
Which brace?
Well, I think your brace was for the Ski-Doo and that intake's for the Yamaha, right? Or
Yes.
Cat.
So it's
Yeah.
not a yes.
So it's not the same, right?
Yeah, right now, as far as we're concerned, the best way to grab the air for the 900R or the Ski-Doo is through the hood, the OEM location. We're looking right now to see if we can improve on the restriction of the silencer, if we can do something better with that. But clearly now for the power target I wanted to add 30 horse. I got 28 reliable. So I'm very happy with the stage 1R, but definitely with stage 2 and 3, we might address the intake in the hood, but never you're gonna see me putting air intake outside the sled. And I want to keep it OEM clean, and I don't want the noise either.
Yeah.
I like a silent. If I do 400 kilometers in one day, I want to hear, the beep in my ears because of the wind, not because
Yeah.
the wind hitting my helmet. I don't want to hear noise too much. I just get bored of it. I think we're getting older, I guess. Noise is, for me, I want it silent. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I find that the 900 turbo is really loud stock.
Yes, I would say the muffler and the 900R are more open than the first generation. So kind of noisy, but once you get it in the mid-range where you cruise, it's not noisy at all. It's when you release, like it does a big bang, but I kind
Yeah.
of find it cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Makes me like put me, the first time I went to try my Maxi and I bang on it on the throttle and release, and I heard like the whole. I said, "Oh!" I had a smile right away in my helmet, and if I had the engineer at Skidoo that did this, I would definitely buy him a beer, maybe two. Say, dude, that was smart. I like it. It's smart,
Yeah.
smart, smart. So
Yeah. They say it
because
makes
I'm
all
sure
kinds of
he's passionate as I am. We're
yeah.
a different side of the fence, but I'm sure mutual respect is there. I did good, he does good too. So I think at Skidoo they don't have the same restriction than aftermarket. It's easier for us. So
Yeah. That's
we
right.
can push the envelope way much more. So that's what makes it a little more fun on my side for this.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
And this is the
Yeah, that's
998.
that's a 998 headers, but for the relocate. So that means that we changed the rotation of the turbo.
Yeah.
So this is more a pro mod kit that we're gonna release probably next year. So that's gonna be more like if the guy has a Yamaha 998 engine and he wants to turn it off for a drag sled, we're gonna release a complete hardware package with intake, intercooler, everything built for race. So
Yeah.
that's what's coming soon. Also, we've done already a couple of them, but definitely we proved that horsepower wise, this is probably this is not probably this is the others that makes the best power. So definitely going for the pro mod. It's gonna be a nice asset for a lot of guys that wants to race. So
Sweet. Look at
yep.
the quality of the welds. I love seeing beading like that. That's great.
Yeah, that's the stage 3 kit for the 900 complete. This is all the
Yeah,
parts
this
of
is a
the stage
Ski-Doo
3.
turbo, right? Yeah.
Yes, and you see the cast stainless casting manifold that we have, the exhaust manifold. So this is all the ISN we can put. You have like a Borg and Warner turbo, which is OEM factory that can do 200,000 kilometers on a Audi. This is to be open book here. This is a turbo upgrade from a Audi TT. So it's good for 315 horsepower. And we also tested that with different wheels. So we put billet wheels in it and different recipes. So we got them to over 400 horsepower now, a low 900 cc. And I tell you guys, even if people were scared at the start, people were scared about crankshaft braking, a bunch of rumors, cylinder getting out of rounds and stuff. Never blew a crank on it. Reliable like I never seen. And even if you measure the cylinders and they're not perfectly round, I would guarantee you they don't blow by much and they do their job, those engines. So as I said, I'm very impressed about that. So that kit, that's the one I have right now on the engine dyno on my second Maxi. So that will be, I'm pretty sure I'll get this like to 30, 35 pounds of boost. That's my target on a stock motor. I want to put 36 pounds of boost, do 4,000 feet lake runs, no brakes with not, I don't even want to put head studs on it just to prove
Yeah.
it's fully reliable. And
Right
then I'll say
on.
to everyone, you need to put head studs, blah, 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 blah. But mine, as I said, I really do try to break the head. Head gasket, anyway, is easy to fix. It's the first fuse. So,
Yeah. Jeff
yeah.
Jeff asked, are the stages stackable, meaning I can move from level 1 to level 2 and just pay the difference? How do I ladder up
This is
stages?
how, yes, this is how we try to build a relationship with the customer. So we start, let's say the guy wants to buy a stage 1 and doesn't want to step up for now and for the other one, for the other stages. We only gonna charge the difference. And also we're trying to look, because the Ski-Doo ECU, the new one, is locked, which is a big deal. But on the other hand, we found a way to unlock it, and we try to find a way so we're gonna offer the service. So let's say the guy gets one ECU unlocked. We want to try to get him. The flash will not be transferable because the flash is tied to the VIN number, right? But the ECU unlock, we're trying to work so you can take your ECU and move it from one sled to the other. So let's say Ski-Doo keep, I don't know, using those ECUs for 4 or 5 more years. That means that you pay only one unlock. So once the ECU is unlocked, then we have full control on it. So we're gonna charge a little fee just to switch to clone the ECU. It's just like a little section that we need to write. So we store VIN number, the keys, odometer, everything, and then we can switch the ECU from one machine to the other. So at least, it gets to be a very good investment, because for sure, fun-wise, the smile, I know you have your money worth, period, I know. So if I make it like a smarter investment on top of that, that means that you can move the ECU, as I said. The only problem is that when you want to, so for people that wants to change their sled every year, the only problem will be that you need to wait to get the new sled before you can sell the old one. So I can clone the ECUs and put
it back
the
in the
new
other
ECU.
sled.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where it
But
becomes
hardware-wise,
tricky.
it doesn't
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see what you're saying. Yep. So
That's the only target I have. Like we need to figure out, but we definitely have an open mind to help on that, because I know, if I have the opportunity, definitely it's feasible. It's not the ECU unlock is not tied to a machine. So
no, that's cool. That's cool.
yeah, that's 1998 that we're trying to build. This is a billet intake intercooler, a tank for an intercooler.
Yeah.
This one is kind of a war project. Definitely want to be the fastest with that. So this one has a Precision 55-58 turbo. We try to go flat out with that one. Yeah, it's gonna be. Now we need to put it. The customer is a good friend of us, and he wanted it to look like a trail sled. But now definitely we go full race. He's gonna give his sled to the science. So we're gonna try to remove as much weight on it, and we go for it flat out. Everything we can do, we'll do it on it. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Here's another view of it from the side. Nice.
Yeah, I don't see it much, but if you keep looking at the picture, you're gonna see there's some
yeah,
major,
it's hard to see. Really dark on my
maybe.
screen, I think. Yep. Yeah.
But it's a very nice build. He's got a billet intake also. Emil did some very nice fab, and JD2. They were very hard on that sled, so
I like it.
Yeah, that's you see the logo. It's Picot. It's been with me since the beginning. We started to work together, and as I said, he's a very, very competent and smart professional driver. So he knows how to talk to a nerd like me, and transfer me numbers, and he can look at the table with me and transfer the feeling he has on the machine to really improve. And it's been. As I said, it's fun to work with someone that has a professional background like this, so we can get to very good results extremely quick when we work together, me and him.
Yeah, it's sweet. I love this. This is the most badass Ryker you're ever gonna meet. Right?
Yeah, but honestly, it's not too much my cup of tea, to be honest. We jumped in that project because it's the same ECU than the Ski-Doo, and I was trying to maximize the revenue and the sales during the summer. So I said, yeah, we'll buy a Ryker and we'll try to play with it. But damn, guys, when I smashed the throttle, I said, it's broken. It's impossible. It's 90 horsepower. It's dangerous. So try to improve the power a bit. I think we got that like to low 13s on quarter mile, which is not bad, but now with the turbo kit, it's something else. Definitely, you
Yeah.
need to respect the thing. I put like it's a stage 3 kit. It's running 20 pounds of boost in the road, with the intercooler, so it's pretty damn fast. But that thing has no gears, so I think it's geared like for 110 miles an hour, and then the RPM starts climbing like I'm gonna unlock a valve in the motor. So I think I do like 180 kilometers max kilometers an hour, but
Yeah.
once I get the traction, I would say it's faster from 100 to 180 than from 0 to 100. Clearly.
Wow.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Once it hooks, it goes. But it's only one tire, and the
Yeah.
suspension, it kind of bends like a scissor. Okay, so you smash the throttle, the scissor bends, so you have no weight on the wheel. So it doesn't transfer like a sled. So traction is the issue. We would need like to probably lock the scissor in the middle to be able to transfer a bit. But this is like something I like to go with my wife or my kid.
Yeah.
Uh, my wife complained when I put the turbo on. She kind of liked it before, and then when I put the turbo, I had to put like the seat for the back because
Yeah.
she didn't want to come on it anymore. I say, hey, did you hear the turbo? She says, okay, hang on. And then I scared the fuck out of her. So now she said, okay, I want the folding seat so I can be sure I'm not falling apart. I'm not falling off. But she kind of liked that a bit because it's more stable. But honestly, I'm more a bike guy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
had more fun. I had more fun riding a B-Wiz in Thailand with my wife in the back than that Ryker, to be honest. It's more challenging in Bangkok. I tell you, riding a little scooter in Bangkok, you need to be aware, man.
Yeah.
People are crazy there. So this is like cup of tea for my wife. The Ryker, even turbo, it's easier. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the nice thing is, like, here it is. Here's a side panel off.
yeah,
The amazing thing
yeah,
is, like, the stock panels fit on it, so it's a real sleeper,
yes. I
right?
wanted absolutely that everything fits as OEM as possible. The only thing I can tell, the way we've done the exhaust, because there's only one way we can put it. I always ride this thing with sandals, barefoot with
Yeah.
sandals. I don't care, and I can feel a little tiny bit of heat. When the fan gets the cooling fan, there's a cooling fan with a radiator. So when the
Yeah.
cooling fan starts, I feel like it's moving a lot of air on my left foot on the exhaust, but it's only when I'm stuck in the traffic. And I try to match put as much ignition timing as I could while cruising to reduce the EGT. I'm very picky with that, and it's a summer thing, so I'm not gonna put
Yeah.
leather pants to ride a Ryker. It's not gonna happen. It's like shorts
No.
with sandals. This is a summer thing that you don't need to worry. Grandma is not gonna break anything with that. It's a traction control. So it's kind of an easy riding thing. So that's why I try to optimize everything. But that's the only con I have is the exhaust side. I feel like a little bit of heat, but it's like barely noticeable. The power gives
Yeah.
it back to you so much that I clearly I don't
You can
care.
get over
And
the heat.
oh shit, yeah, I'll deal with that. And it's undurable because I usually take that thing. I usually take my Ryker when it's nice outside, right?
Yeah.
So usually when it's nice, it's because I'm in shorts and it's 30 outside, so I'm cooking anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
as I
That's right
said,
too.
I like it like the way it is right now. It's not a highway machine. I would not do a road trip with this because it's just revs too high. It's not like the Spider. I think the Spider is more comfortable, but to
Yeah.
ride around in city, it's perfect. I love
Yeah.
this
Yeah. That
thing.
I felt the same way with them, right? Short trips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
short trips.
What's the kit cost like if you wanted to do this
I
to
don't
your
know,
right?
6 grand.
Yeah.
And we'll see because I don't know if the customer of a Ryker is someone that's gonna look for a turbo kit. I kind of need to do some research a bit more on the market. I just did it because I bought it and it was boring, and I just wanted to have more power. This is just the way
That's
I am, and
awesome.
it took like 2 3 days to a mill, and all the parts that we had done for the 900 stage 3 kit was fitting almost there. So that's why we said, why, okay, let's put boost in it, good little motor. I convinced everyone. They all jumped in the project. But at the end, are we gonna make a production of it? I don't know. We might just look if we make a pre-order or reservation, or we see some interest about it, because right now I think I'm 6,000 kilometers with it, and
Yeah.
it's flawless.
No issues. That's
Flawless.
great.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
I'm ready to sell. It's just to see. Yeah, that's one of the con is we lose the glove box. I call it the little storage you have in the front for the
Oh, yeah.
intercooler. I try to
Yeah.
do everything to keep this because I like to do the grocery store. A bottle of wine was fitting perfect with 2 steaks, and you close this. Now I lost it, so. But
Yeah.
I prefer having the cool air. It makes a big difference on power. Before I was
Yeah.
running it like 13 pounds, and definitely with the intake, with the intercooler, I've been able to increase like 20. I think I'm 20, 21 pounds right now. So it's getting serious with a Borg and Warner. It's a pretty serious. Yeah, I enjoy. It's
I
pretty
love it.
funny.
I
Yeah.
love it. I can just imagine. Here you have your tent set up. Is this a race or is this an event? What is this?
No, it's Poker Run, which I
Oh,
like. Yeah, we try to sponsor and try to help the sports. So this is a big run. I think it's like 200 or 300 kilometers in one day. People do just do it for fun, man. And we try to, as I said, I think it's very nice days. It's always at the end of the season, so we try to sponsor those kind of events because I think it's cool, just fun. Talk about snowmobile, ride with people. I have an expedition, a very high horsepower expedition, which I
yeah.
love with a 20-inch track. And I love to ride with my wife or either my kid, and then my wife follows with the magazine on echo because she's scared to just touch the throttle, and she complains all the time. I'm sore, I'm this and that, but we just completely enjoy. I think it's very nice to ride with my customers, and as I said, we try to at least once or twice a year to sponsor those kind of events because I think it's good for the sport. Period.
It is. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
good.
give back, right? Give back
Yeah,
to it.
exactly. Get the wheel spin. That's it.
Yeah,
Just
that's
get the
right.
wheel spin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my race trailer. You see, this is where I spend my. You see, like it has been there. If you look at the snow on the roof,
Yeah, it's
so it's
you can
fully
just drive right
heated.
in. No ramp needed, right?
No, it's at the chalet. So it's in Saint-Zenon. So I have a nice lake, almost 5,000 feet long. So I can do a 3,000-foot track that I pull with my expedition with a little groomer I bought at the Toronto show. So I
Yeah.
groom my track, and then I have a pretty decent shutdown also. So I put like cones, and I always like try to be at like 30 miles an hour at the cones, and at the cones, bang, wide open throw. I hold it until the end of the track, then look at the dialogue. 60 miles an hour, RPM. I do it the entire winter. I just beat sleds full time. So
That's
once I've
excellent.
done with the engine dyno, I just try to break them, guys. So if I don't, theoretically you won't.
Yeah.
That's how. If you do your maintenance and you don't beat that when it's cold, it's gonna last. It's made for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's inside the trailer. So you see, like I have my workbench. It looks always like a mess because it's so tight in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, this is like pretty much, you see my toolboxes and my Starfrit skills is in there too. To
Nice.
measure the weights. Yeah, that's pretty much the entire setup there.
Really cool.
Yeah, I'm
What's with
getting
the
old. For me,
with
yeah.
the monitors on their sides? What's that
Yeah,
for?
it just helps. It just so I can put sometime the dialogue on the left, my big calculator on the right, and then all the hexadecimal in the middle. So I can work on different things because sometimes you need to go from the dialogue to the file that you try to edit. So you need to always switch tables and switch tabs. So it's better to have everything in front. So when you do a calculation, you can double check. So it just gets, and at the end, guys, I get older. I don't see shit anymore. So the more screen I have, the better I am because I tell you, I need zoom on everything. I need to get the operation. I don't see that much anymore. Everyone is
Yeah,
laughing about me with that. I can't see, guys. I tell you. So now the more screen I have, the better it goes. So
yeah.
I even
I'm in the
have my coffee machine. You see on
yeah.
the yeah, I have my coffee machine portable. All this stuff. It's always a mess in my trailer,
You've got a
but
bottle of vodka back there. You got some
yes,
Smirnoff
yes,
back.
that's when shit is going very bad. I don't find the problems. I usually try to drink it out a bit, and sometimes I come up with solutions. You never know.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Here's a switch. This is great.
Yes. Yes, that's gonna be fun. If I can, as I said, achieve 300 to 350 horsepower. And the thing is, the more power I'll make, the least load I'll have to put on the engine to cruise at X speed. So that means that if I load, it's the same like a 998 or a 900. Once you modify them, theoretically they get cheaper on gas because they just make
Yeah.
more power. So it's going to be the same with that. I think at 230 horsepower, that engine is sleeping. It should make 300. It makes 300 from Skidoo. So at least I know if I just make 300, I'm not beating the crap out of it at all. So I can push it to probably 350. So that's
Nice.
somewhere I think, and also it's like a project. Okay, it's nothing big, but I want to start working on hydrogen fuel during my spare time. That's something that really interests me because I don't feel like the electric is the future, in my own opinion. It's not a replacement, but we need actually to think about that. And I think hydrogen, if we want to keep the internal combustion engine and the cool sound, I think we need to go that way. So that will be probably a platform for me because on a snowmobile, the room you have to put parts and stuff is very limited. But on a pontoon, I can bring a fridge, I can bring a stove, I can bring a generator, everything I want to do
Yeah.
test. I'm gonna have the room for it. So that's another reason why we decided to purchase this because I think it's gonna be a good platform for us to try so many different things. And as I said, space will not be something that is a problem now. Even if it's
No.
heavy, I can put 10
Yeah.
people in there. So, you
Oh
know,
yeah. So weight's not an issue either, right? Like that's
yeah.
crazy. You know what? I think
Yeah.
it's good. I think that last year it's a new product for them, and they're going to keep selling them. So why not, right?
And honestly, I had it so late. It was way too late when I got it. I think I got it in September, so I had maybe 10 hours, eight
Oh,
hours to ride with it. But the 8 hours I had a lot of fun, man. It's the first time I have like a boat. So it's just fun to chill on it. You don't want always to go fast. It's just a different mindset. When I get on a snowmobile and I close the helmet, I'm going all the time,
yeah.
wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah, one
Nice.
speed full. But a boat, you need to relax. It's different. Put Bob Marley, Sunny. I don't know. It's fun. It's
Yeah, that's
totally
right.
different.
Yeah,
So
that's
anyway,
cool. And
and
here's your
that's a
switch.
Sea-Doo. Yeah, it's a Spark. Sea-Doo
A
Spark.
spark. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that has the same turbo than the Stage 3, which is the Borg& Warner. That thing push, I think, 180 horsepower. The main issues we have with that thing is the turbine is we cannot put more power into it because it's scavenging,
Yep.
cavitating. It cavitates.
Cavitating.
Sorry for
Yeah.
it cavitates, cavitating. So we would need like to dig a huge hole in the front of that boat to be able to transfer a lot of water into it. So I think an 180, 200 horsepower, this is the max that the system can do. But damn, this thing is fun, man.
Yeah.
The instant horsepower you have, it's like you want to jump a little wave, but you always like how do you underestimate how quick it can fly this thing. So yeah.
Wow.
And I had like yeah, I'm open book. So I had a big snowmobile accident last year. So I had my two arms in cuffs. I broke my two arms at 5 places.
Ooh.
I met a groomer in the trail.
Oh no.
Late at night. Not the fault of the driver. Probably my fault because I was fucking driving fast, to be honest, way too fast.
Yeah.
But not crazy either. If I was bent, I was with my SRX, and it's just wrong place, wrong moment. Anyway, it happened. Still alive. But Sea-Doo was very hard on my arm, so I sold it to the customer of the GTR that he has 1600
Yeah.
horsepower. He's a good friend of mine. And he said, I want that Sea-Doo. I want it. So I sold him and even ran it with 87 octane. He
Wow.
tried to destroy it. This is like a bulletproof kit. So that is
Nice.
gonna be released this summer. So 2 years we took to develop that kit. 2 complete summer, as I said, developing it. Now we are at the production phase, so definitely this gonna be hit the market this year for sure. And it's a well-proven kit, so I know the smile will be right away. And you need to hold the handles. It's not a fast top speed machine. We ended up we win. I think it's 44 miles an hour top speed, stock of 40, and we hit 61 GPS. So
Wow.
it's not like impressive, but it's
Yeah.
just the way the machine is. It's just so agile in small waves and stuff that the extra torque and power, I don't think that watercraft can handle more power. It's at the end, it's plenty enough with that, and fun factor like 20 out of 10.
Yeah.
Definitely
Dan
fun.
Dan says 180 horsepower Spark. What's not to like?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, who's this young man?
Yeah, this is me in my dad's shop. Like I found one of my friend like sent me that was like an old Toyota engine, and I started building engine like I think I was 7 or 8 year old in my dad's shop, and so that's a picture of that was like a Toyota pickup with a 22R engine, like a 2.4 liter. So I started just fixing them because my dad was not to agree about modification on engines. Every time he was bringing anything, even I had like my Toyota Corolla rear wheel drive, I was always beating the crap out of it, and he wasn't agree with performance at all. He says fix it right, and don't beat it too much. But at the end, I
Yeah.
was stronger than me. I had it in my veins, I guess. So, but as I said, I started with just fixing engines, cars, Toyota Tercel and Corollas, timing belts. This is how I learned everything. I learned to respect mechanic also like this.
Yep.
When you spend your entire youth fixing stuff, you don't want to break it for fun. It's not in your, I don't want to hurt the engine. I want to make it shine. I want to make it
Yeah.
faster, but I don't want to hurt it. So this is how it's all started, man. Started
Yeah.
young. So this is
Yeah.
the laser edge machine that we have. So we do,
Okay, so engraving the parts, is it?
yes, we do it
Nice.
in-house too. Yeah, we try. As I said, pretty much the only thing we don't do right now is powder coating and anodize because it
Yep.
just simply doesn't worth it for us. But pretty much everything else is all done in-house.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, look at that setup.
Yeah, those are the, I think if I look from far, looks like maybe the tunnel protector brace that we put the little logo.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This is like the assembly room. So we do all the wiring harnesses, adapters. Let's say you buy like a catch can, it's all assembled there. All the parts that needs more assembly. This is Pascal. Pascal is like probably the more perfectionist person I ever met in my life. So he's kind of very freak out about perfection. So this is why he assembles stuff. We
Nice.
really like his attitude, the way he works and stuff. Yeah, he's an amazing person to work with. So, as I said, all the crimps, connectors, the turbo, see, like you see the crimping machine too.
Yeah. Is
You
that
see
what
that
this is
big
here?
yellow thing? Yes,
Nice.
that's what we use, and then we can test them with the press. So we can put like apply, I think, 1,000 psi in it to make sure that the fitting is right. But we're only putting oil fumes in it, but we still test it for 1,000 psi. It might be a little overkill, but at the end, we try to deliver an experience to the customer, like from A to Z, like
Yeah.
overkill perfection. And as I said, we do mistakes, but we try to fix them and learn from it, and we don't do it again. So yeah.
But that's your quality assurance, is because you do it all in house. You have that complete control from one end to
But
the other.
even and the thing is I'm the owner, right? But I'm not into the all the departments of the shop now, and I know like everyone in this team, I have the conviction that everyone in that team does 100% of effort, and they're proud. You know, I see like the welder Jedi or everyone like washing the part with a before putting it in the box. So everyone is kind of proud of everything, but we still do mistakes. We are human. There's things in shipping. My wife can mix two boxes, and we need to deal with that. Or we
Yeah.
all do mistakes at the end.
Yep.
So at least if we try to do 110 perfection, I know it's unachievable, but at least the mindset makes that. Uh, we can at least cover a couple of mistakes, by just doing the extra effort. But we still do mistakes, like
Yeah.
everyone, I think, but as I said, we fix them right away, and that's it. That's
Yeah,
how it
for
works.
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
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 Nice
So you
shop.
see more like, yeah, that's the shop is made like on 2 floors. So that's very efficient too because it's a 10,000 square feet shop on 2 floors. So we're like, I think 10 or 12 right now. Where I need to count everyone, but I used to be me and myself and I, and now we're like 12 or 11, I think.
Wow, that's great.
13 maybe. Yeah. And everyone has a specialty, and this is Jedi, the man himself.
I love it.
This is yeah, Jedi welding. This is the new spot because we put a CNC machine at his old spot, so he's got moved, and you can see like the red welding machine in the
Yep.
back.
Yeah.
This is like a Fronius or something, and he has his dog on there.
I see
Everyone
that.
can come to work with the dogs. So we have
That's
like 5 or 8 dogs in the shop all the time.
that's
Uh,
awesome.
but you know what? At the end, I say to myself, Jedi is so happy his dog is there. His dog
Oh, for
doesn't
sure.
bark. He doesn't piss off anyone. And we don't have customers running in the shop. So
Yeah.
at the end, clean the shit of the dog. The rest, it's a nice bring. I have my own dog too coming, and he's
I
like,
love that.
yeah, it just gives a nice
It
touch,
does. I love it. Yeah.
and it doesn't change anything to me.
No,
So no,
I
and
like
everyone
it.
is happy about that.
Yeah.
So
Look
now
at the
you see,
CNC machine you got. Wow, that's great.
yeah, that's the as on the left.
Yeah.
And then that's a late CNC. Emil always is very impressed about how precise that old late is. So we can do like pretty impressive high precision stuff. The
Great.
CNC is a 4-axis. And I tell you, Emil never went in school to run a CNC machine. Like I never went in school
Yeah.
to hack an ECU. We see like Saturday, we were two in the shop, me and Emil, the two owners. He was developing the new intake billet, and me, I was trying to shine with the stage 3 and make power. We've been a lot of time, both of us, alone in that shop until late night and weekends and stuff. And we don't punch the hours; we just do them because we want to make it happen. This is
Yeah, that's
the
great.
And as I said, that's a sled that doesn't look anymore like a sled, but I guarantee you when it's going to be back together, it's going to be a rocket ship. I want to go war with this, period. So many people talking shit. I want to kind of fix that with that sled. That's the target. It's going to be the
Yeah.
lightest as possible, the more power as possible, and try to improve like as much as possible the management of it. Be
Yeah.
smart on every single aspect because power is not everything. You need to be smart about everything there. So we cutted everything and try to build it lightweight and get it to kick some ass.
Yeah, that's a Sidewinder, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, nice.
This is
Yeah.
the office. You see, like the new 3D scanner, like the gray thing, like
Yeah.
the gray handle. That's the 3D scanner there, and
No,
he
right,
has an office. Yeah,
right,
yeah, you got it
right
right there.
there.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Nice.
that's pretty
That's cool.
much. Yeah, he has all his drawers. Every time I open a drawer, I see how many M and stuff in there. It's okay, 3,000 drawer, 5,000 drawer is fun.
Nice.
Yeah. But
I love it.
once you buy the machine, let's say you step up and you buy the CNC, you have no clue, but you need to put pretty much the same price that you just paid the CNC. You need to put it in tooling and tool
Wow.
holders, clamps to hold the pieces and stuff. See this weekend the clamps. We just paid 2,000, I think, for the clamps, and that were not strong enough. And one clamp got loose. Then the CNC bang. It's not the spindle, but just we destroy like 1 mil plus a $300 piece of aluminum. So in a fraction of a second, it's just $1,000 that just popped in the window and could have been way worse. So CNC machining, it's a tough game too, and you need to calculate everything properly before. And by a mill is pretty amazing. As I said, for someone that he just like wants to learn something, he does it. Looks at YouTube video, tries stuff, do things. He's committed to learn. That's what I love about that guy, and this is why he's co-owner with me. We have
Yeah.
the same attitude. I started Precision EFI alone, but I know without him now, I would not be there. So I'm very proud of him.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Yes, it's all about teamwork.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you see pretty much the shop, the fab shop. This is more. You see, we have iron workers, so we do the stamps. On the left, you see all the saw. So sometimes we buy like a 30-foot cylinder full of aluminum, and we just slice them to do the little fuel system. Yeah, it's all raw material coming out in the bags upstairs. So
Nice. That's great.
yeah. That's my pretty much my office. This is the engine dyno set up there. So I think I had like a Maxi actually.
Yep.
The engine
That's what
dyno probably, yeah.
that's you on there. Yep.
Yeah, that's my stage 3 right now. You see, look at my beautiful air filter I did.
Intake.
So yeah, I bypassed the hood because I was tired always to remove the hood and put it back together. So I kind of hooked the cluster at the end though with tie wraps and just to put something just so it doesn't get like too much dust in the turbo or a tie wrap or something. So I just put the filter there.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you put a cover on that, or is that okay to run in the snow?
Oh no, this is like just for engine dyno purpose.
I got you.
Oh yeah, I'll
So,
definitely put everything on it before we go to snow for sure.
yeah, okay, that's what I was wondering about
Yeah,
those.
you see, like that famous GTR at 1600
Yeah.
horsepower is on the lift now because he destroyed. I think it's like 75,000 the upgrade transmission, and he stripped all the gears in the fourth gear stripped all. It needs to do the transmission again. So the
Oh,
guy
geez.
said, yeah, it's good for 1600. Okay, so now we're there and start blowing parts. So it's always like a fight of what's gonna blow next
Yeah.
at that power
Wow.
level. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's more the shop where I started with.
Yeah.
So I had only that side with the chassis dyno. So this is more like the sales department, tech support, the ECU unlock laboratory. Upstairs we have also Pierre-Luc that does all the codes for the flash tool and the platform. So this is more like the office deal, shipping area testing,
Yeah.
and on the other side it's more the fab.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where you're
So
sitting
that's where
right
I'm
now.
sitting.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. This is like
Very cool.
upstairs.
I like how you can color code the tubes as well, so it matches your sled.
Yeah, I try. But it's very hard, by the way, because sometimes like the green Arctic Cat is not always the same every year.
That's right.
Yeah, it's hard to match everything. So see, like this is like all charge tubes that we have in stock.
Yeah.
Actually we have way less now. It's the stuff is moving very. I'm pretty impressed how quick
Good.
we can empty a shell. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Right on. And you ship Canada, US, worldwide.
Yes, we have Scandinavia also. We have I think it's Alta Racing Service that 6 or 7 years ago we jumped with us as a distributor there. So we opened a pretty good market about the 998. I think it started with someone went to an independent dyno there, and he says for once they didn't know someone didn't lie about the horsepower they were making. I was like making exactly what I was claiming, and I think it started from there. Its business started to be very good there, but now it got more quiet because the 998 in Scandinavia, I think it's like 100 sled per year. So they don't have volume anymore.
No.
Skidoo will sell like 10,000, and Yamaha and Arctic Cat will sell nothing.
Yeah, that's right.
I just hope they're gonna step up and do a new sled. I'm gonna be more than happy to work on because I love Arctic Cat products. Clearly, looking forward to have a four-stroke turbo to play with. A new challenge for sure. I'm always excited to see what's coming. If Polaris comes with a four-stroke turbo, I'll jump in it, bang on.
Nice.
So yeah, whatever happens, I think a lot of exciting things I'm gonna be coming with the snowmobile. So pretty happy about that.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see what Arctic Cat's doing moving forward. It's I'm really excited about that new chassis they have out.
I think the chassis
catalyst.
is gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think the relationship, and I'm not in the business too much, so I cannot really talk. I just talk about what I think's gonna happen. They might do the same than Suzuki. What they did with the Suzuki with the two-stroke motor, they might just buy or develop with them so they can build the 998 in-house in the United States. And I think that would be the smart move to do. You buy the blueprints of the 998 and just build them in-house. So it's an American product. They're going to have help from the US government if it's a US product. So I think that will be the smart move for them. Or if not, Textron will use, anyway, it's speculation.
Yeah, that's right.
They probably already know what they're doing. So that's my wife's office. This is the shipping area.
The packaging, yeah. I love how professionally
and
it
she's
is
so
done.
funny, let's say you buy a t-shirt, she makes sure she makes it like perfect, like she was going in it's a Tilden or a Fruit of the Loom, but it's packed like it is Hugo Boss thing.
Yeah,
So
that's nice.
no,
Yep.
she takes that's all the raw material we have. So if you zoom in a bit, like you see, like we have like we try to organize the shop very well. So we have a minimum quantity in each boxes. So this is all the raw material. This is like the second floor of the fabrication.
Yeah.
Uh, so all the little parts for let's say build catch can, I think we have like 68 parts that goes on a catch can, just the oil separator kit.
Right.
It's 60 individual parts, so we need to make sure we have all of them because that's something you learn very quick. Is you only miss one part, I cannot sell the oil separator, even for a washer that weighs that worth 2 cents. Uh, the part is on back order because we missed that little washer. So it's a lot of gestion, and you need to plan in advance a lot to make sure that you got everything sorted out. So when it's time when it's busy on the sales and stuff like Black Friday are always extremely busy here. So we try to have a lot of inventory ready to be able to supply the demand.
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, there's another shot of it. Really well organized.
Yeah, that's a sled that I installed like one of my first plug-in ECU when I done the 1100cc plug-in with Vipec. That was one of the first product I released for the snowmobile industry. That was a replacement ECU. That was more focused. I did like the trail mapping and stuff. Like I really think I did a very good job on that. But the main plan was to put a lot of boost in it.
Yeah.
So that thing ended up honestly. I was running 56 pounds of boost with a 55, 58, and the sled full with wet oil gas was 486 pounds, and I was close to 600 pounds. And I can tell you, once you pass the number that you have more power than weight, a bunch of crazy shit starts happening. Like it starts pulling to the left, to the right. You have no control on things. You get to a point that you're starting to get like some serious power, man. And it's kind of and you cannot light it up right away. You need to wait like on a 5 seconds run or a 4.5 seconds run. You're only full power for like a second, maybe a second and a second 25, because all the rest you're just ramping the power, because if not it's just gonna flip over or you're not gonna win anyway.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah. When you see like hyper sports stuff, it's pretty. They use Vipec, by the way. So I
Yeah.
started to work with them back in the days. They were my biggest customers. Now they step up their game with billet engines and stuff. I find it so cool what they do. But as I said, they don't leave off the lane full power. They just ramp it because
Yeah.
it's just impossible to put 800 horsepower on the track. Yeah, that was like when we were
Here's the
going to
Vipec.
race. This is old,
Yeah.
old souvenir. This is like
Yeah.
my
Cool.
days. I was building, as I said, replacement ECU, and to be honest, I don't think I would ever do that again. Because once you start playing with OEM ECUs, you say, well, it's like David against Goliath.
Yeah.
It's so much more features in the OEM ECU. Yeah, that was one run that I just light up the power a little too soon. So the run after, I waited half a second more before I light up the power. So yeah, that thing was pretty crazy.
That's
Yeah,
insane. Look at
good
the
good good
studs in it.
souvenir.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 4 per row, 1.860 Chesil, brand new. That was just before we switched to a Pro Line suspension.
Yeah.
We had like to do so many things on the chassis just to get them to go straight. That
Yeah.
was extremely
Wow.
hard, but at the end, it's research and development they call. So
Yeah.
this is how it works. This is how you learn. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was
Is this the
before I put
same?
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
same sled. I don't know why the guys put it's all the same sled. That this is how I purchased. And the last picture you saw, it was wheeling and in carbon fiber. This is what I ended up with.
Yeah. Nice.
after. So yeah, I went lightweight, removed the intercooler, put a smaller intercooler. I tried to be more efficient on everything. And what I did actually, I kind of got with a trouble obsessive compulsive problem, is I put the sled on the scales, and every single thing I was putting, I said, oh, it's too heavy, too heavy. So everything I was able to replace with a tie wrap, I did. You kind of get like pretty
Yeah.
obsessive
It,
about that. And but at the end, I was pumping all the. Oh, that was the F1100 I hated. The one I had
this
issues with the
this one
track. The
here.
first sled, yeah, the Vipec, the F1. That was a 2013, like the year they had issues with the rail for the track. That track was ratcheting like hell all the time. So yeah, I didn't like that sled too much, to be honest. But at the end, we fix all the problems now, and it's an amazing sled. I'm sure someone will enjoy it.
I love it. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
that
there's your
was the first prototype of a plug-in ECU I've done. That was like the startup of it. So this is where I started to design bottom boards completely. So I was able to match an OEM wiring harness into an ECU, not use an adapter box. I never agreed about using an adapter box. I wanted always to make the nice thing and put it in the same case, the brain and everything. I wanted to have a real plug-in ECU because, as I said, adapter box for me is kind of a one more thing that can go wrong. More connection, more junctions, more everything. So I rather have one connector, one wire going directly in the ECU. So this is why we designed this. I was calling it the AC11 for Arctic Cat 1100. So
yeah, that's awesome.
yeah. Didn't have much inspiration back in the days, but yeah, that was
Yeah.
like a old Apex blower that I put a Vipec ECU on it too.
Cool.
Trying to, yeah, it's a bunch of custom things I was doing, before. Now someone will come with a Apex blower. I say, sorry, man, I don't touch that type of products anymore because it's just right now I'm more focusing of building a high volume product than just being custom building or tuning
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. I'm not saying
Um,
you'd probably never get your time out of a custom build like that, right?
no, and it's like building a kid. You are
Yeah.
making yourself a kid. This is how it works, because there's a very little amount of people that can adjust an engine with a standalone ECU. And in my own opinion, giving them access to everything, giving access to someone that doesn't know what he's doing, is just worse. You're not helping the guy. You
No.
better, just give the entire recipe, all done, just enjoy. But at the end, I'm not doing too many race programs anymore. As I said, I want to go back into it with the sled you saw all in little pieces.
Yeah.
This is definitely a target to us. I want to get back into that game for sure. Because once we got the trail riding pretty well figured out, I want to say that I want to go to war against 998 with the 900 turbo. Everyone will
Yeah.
say it's a little engine, blah, 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 it's not fast enough. I'll prove them they were wrong by far, and I'll make two
Yeah.
seasons with the same engine while they're gonna keep blowing at gaskets all the time, and I'm gonna laugh.
Love it.
As I said, yeah. I'll work hard on that. So that was like the package we did for 1100 replacement ECU. We also had like that's the first reflash I released for a snowmobile. That was like the 1100cc Arctic Cat. So that's I had like a 210 horsepower and a 270 horsepower. Even then, I did it with Pascal Picotte again. The guy I said like he was very good, and everyone was unanimous that to ride in the trail that was the best product by far. Just the way like the throttle was all linear,
Yeah.
because when we do a product, and that's something that I really take pride in, is I'm gonna spend probably 80% of the time developing the product in the middle of the throttle. Because usually when you ride, it's very rare that you're gonna go wide open throttle. It's all the middle. that gives the entire fun and how precise the throttle is. So it's like the connection with the suspension, the rider. You get to make one with the sled, right? So it's
Yeah.
all about in the mid range. So this is where I think our product makes I would say the biggest difference is we put a lot of time in the mid power to try to make it as perfect as and linear as possible.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's all the pictures you sent in. That's cool.
Yeah.
But no, that's what a great episode. It's run a long time, and that's key to see that people are so in tune with it as well. They really enjoyed it in the chat. How do people find you? I posted the website earlier. It's precisionefi.com. And then if you have any questions, make sure you email info@precisionefi.com. But what about your social media channels? Where can people find you?
You can find us. I think I'm so bad with this. Honestly, I don't take care much, but I know we have a Facebook page.
And your Instagram
EFI.
is your Instagram is precision_EFI. I'm not sure if
I think Eric is sending you the links. I think in the comments.
Perfect.
I don't even have Instagram in my phone, to be honest. I'm kind of focused on ECUs and speed
on the
and
product.
Stuff, so
I
don't care much about that.
No, that's great. No, that's the thing. And if thank you so much for your time tonight. I won't keep you any later. You're already pushing 11 o'clock. But
it's okay. I really enjoy. I hope I didn't talk too much.
No. Everybody enjoyed it. We have Bobby Osa's Sebastian is a Bible of knowledge. Thank you, Sebastian, and thank you, Gary. Great show. And everybody, great people at Precision EFI. Somebody asking where the shop was located. So if you want to talk about the shop location.
We're north of Montreal in Saint-Eustache, and everyone is welcome to meet the Dogs and the team. And usually when I have customer come in and we have time, I always try to take some time to show around the shop. And so that's always like something that is always make everyone feel welcome in the place. So
that's great. That's great. Well, if Eric sends me the links, I'll put them in the description and in the comments below the video. But again, thank you so much for your time tonight. I really appreciate it, Sebastian. And
that was a pleasure, man.
Yeah. Thank you. And again, info@precisionefi.com. If you have any questions, and make sure you check out the website, precisionefi.com. And Eric says, awesome, so that's what it's all about. I'm going to roll the credits, and we will chat with you on the other side. Thank you so much.
Thanks again. It was very nice.
Yeah. Cheers.
It's a journey for life, and I'm your ride. Hang on.
Comme appel, je vais toutes les prendre.